right, everybody. It's RPM with you. Trader Spotlight Live. DayTraderRadio.com. It is July 28th, 2011. And, of course, it's right here at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Tonight's show, of course, Trade for Pay and Huckleberry Sue on the CL Futures. And let's hope we have a great show. I know we will. And we can avoid any tech problems. Those things happen. Hopefully won't run into any of that. Let's get the audio check. Check. 1 2 1 2. All right. So let's get Skype fired up here. And we'll go ahead and get started with Huck Sue and Trade for Pay in just a sec. And I want to thank Gary Shaw for the new background image. I think it's pretty cool. So hope you guys enjoy that. I think it gives it a nice new fresh look. And of course I've got the Speed Trader Pro running there with the Speed Trader Pro running right there with the ES chart up there. Looks like the ES futures holding up here about 12.98. Crazy debt ceiling talks going on still. All right, so we got Joel in here. Hey man, what's up?
Not much. What you doing?
I just got out of my attic. I got insulation all stuck in my fingers.
That always feels good.
Yeah. I had something go wrong with the power adapter for an aggregate network switch that I had in the attic, and or still in the attic, and for a whole bunch of my Cat 5 that's up there, and evidently today it's just a little bit too hot for it, and a little power adapter actually melted. So I was terrified that the switch was bad. But when I looked at the power adapter and I saw the power adapter had melted, I pretty much knew I was okay. All I had to do was find another one, which I never did. So I cut the wire off of it and added a car battery charger and a battery on there. So let's get Sue in here. Hey, what's up, Sue? Hey,
I'm here.
Hey.
Here?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
Yep.
Hey, I am doing excellent.
Hey,
Happy to be with you all.
Great. Hey, did you sound a lot better? Are you calling in from a computer or are you calling in from your phone? How are you doing that? You're calling in from your computer?
I'm calling in from the computer I usually call in on. I talked to Disco the other night briefly from my landline, so I don't know how that sounded to everybody else. It's difficult hearing and talking on different things, but I'm glad you're hearing me. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. I see Black Hat there, Mean Dean, Night, all the regulars, Michael Freeman, JV1080, all the regulars in the room. I want to welcome everybody. Trader LLC, Joe Trader, was that Nerbs guy, and Risk On, everybody, all the regulars there. It looks like a good packed house tonight, about 163 in the chat. And about almost 500 watching tonight. So let's go ahead. Black Hat says, don't let the insurance guy in my house. Actually, he was here last week and gave me a discount for the alarm system and the fire hydrant. I just don't want to let him in after the smoke clears. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Well, let's tell everybody. I want you guys to just introduce yourselves, and tell everybody out there. We got a lot of new people in the room, by the way, a lot of new members. But why don't we just start, Sue, if you want to just start and just give us whatever you want to tell us about yourself, how you found Day Trading Radio, how long you've been doing your thing, and what you specialize in or whatnot, and then we'll move on and talk to Joel, and we'll do the same thing.
That's cool. Wow, you want to start off with me? That makes me feel really special. I am hardly the star of the show here, but here we go.
Of course.
I have been trading stocks and options for 20-something years on my own in my spare time. Last year I started trading full-time, bringing you up to speed. Last year I went to the New York Expo, missed all you guys by a day, found a brochure on the booth, picked it up, went into the room the next day. 2 days after that, joined up for the year. Been a member of the family since the end of February, but it feels like the end of February for about 2 years now. And this is just the best family. It's so wonderful. So the reason that you're having me on tonight is, in recent history, especially in the summer, paying stocks just is not easy. And with all the crap going on, it's a lot harder. So I really wanted to find a vehicle to trade that was not dependent on a CEO saying something stupid, a missed earnings, any of that extraneous stuff. So through various means and methods, I wound up with the CL. And I've been making some money, I've been losing some money, been making some money, losing some money. Today, I made a lot of money. Not a lot. I did okay. So I'm happy to be doing the spotlight on a winning day. Trade for pay, you're up.
Okay. For new people, I've been trading 36 years now. I taught finance, Xavier University, to the MBAs there, and really enjoyed it. And that was how I got my real start in trading. But as it went on, I used to be able to keep stocks for years. And, I'd have a rotation. And, one period of time, the P&Gs and the Colgates and the Cokes and that stuff would be good. Another period of time, the industrials would be good, and so on. Well, anymore, this market is so nuts because of the politics and whatever, that I just couldn't keep up with keeping long-term stuff. So I sold off all of my long-term holdings, and I'd traded futures, probably 25 years ago. I used to do corn and pork bellies and heating oil. And then about, I'm going to say maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, I got into the ES and the YM and so on. And at that point, it was a different trading system. I mean, you could really watch, and have patterns. And I was in a room that, cost a fortune. The guy would call out trades. He was okay at it, but here's what you have to buy. And it, what I get out of John's room is, John has his own way of trading. It's very, very well run. You can take John's way, or there's people in here, Cousin Vinny, who, is excellent and gives you help in options, and I help in options, but he's really good. Thing I really like about this room here is it's like being on a football or a sports team. I won't say football, but a sports team. People high-five you when you do well. They're there to support you when you miss the play. And that really brings together. This is a tough business. And to have somebody there to high-five you, whether it's, or even to feel good because you high-five the other guy. That's what helps this room be so excellent. The politics lately, and I'm not talking in the room, I'm talking in the country, has made everybody frickin' nuts. And, what I see here is we keep it to a minimum roar, and we still think of each other, which to me is the greatest thing. ES Junkie and Internetal were trading the CL before I was. And I never did I never was thrilled with the ES because it always would move, and there was so many contracts to open at each group, at each strike. It would look like soldiers, line up of soldiers. So I used to do the TF, which is the Russell. I used to do. You're right, like Steve did. Go ahead, Sue. I'm sorry.
Sue, you still there?
I am still here. How you doing, guys?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, when what's called talked about saw the ES, I looked at it. What I like is it's 10 cents. It's in penny increments. Okay. I like things with small increments because then people move easier. It's easier to go up 2 ticks if each tick is a penny, or if you're doing the TF, if each tick is 10 cents rather than 25 cents like you have to with the NQ and the ES. So that's why I'm in the CL, and as we talk later, I'll explain why it's a very good market, but a very tough market that you can make a fortune or lose a fortune quick. And Sue, it's up to you, babe.
Oh, thanks. Quick is the operative word. The optimal trade, the really optimal trade, lasts for about 10 seconds. And that is scary. It scares me. I've been doing this for a month. For the last week, my palms have not sweated. I have been up big. I have given it all back because I know people have feelings about calling things a manipulated market, but I feel, in my humble opinion, it is the most manipulated instrument to trade because the way it goes up and down the course of a day has nothing to do with supply, demand, or anything else. It's black boxes, it's big traders. They have the edge, and if any of us can make a dime, I think we're doing pretty well. And Joel, your charts are really fabulous. I could never have done this without you, but the fibs are important, I think, because they bounce off of them. If you set them up right, they bounce off of them all the time. And I used to, when I first started way back 3 weeks ago, played the fibs for the bounce. And then one day it bounced off of 3 fibs, and I did not have a stop in. And I am fessing up right now. I lost almost $400 because I kept thinking it was going to come back. And you know what? It didn't. I took that loss. I will never do that again. And that is my big secret. It's out for everybody. Live and learn. Move on.
Yeah. Hey, Joel, I've got your screen up here right now.
Right.
I'm kind of just sharing the whole thing. You got like 4 overlapping charts there.
Right. I'll go into the different concepts because one of them I can knock down. The big one on the left. Okay. What that is, and this is why I was going to talk a little bit about that chart. That's the CL, which is oil. Okay, now, there's 2 types of oil. There's what they call Texas WTI. Okay, that's what the CL is. And then there's Brent oil that's, a different place. It's not from Texas. I think it's from England and so on. Okay? Now.
Yes, West Tex, we are live. He's sending me private messages.
Oh, yeah. Now.
I'm pretty much.
It is West Texas. That's WTI. That's what it's for. But what I have on that chart on the left, move yours back just a little bit, RPM.
Yeah, I just moved it off. I'm just
okay.
Yes, up there.
Okay. I have the Dixie or the DX, which is the dollar chart. If you watch, this is 5 o'clock here. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't see your cursor, but let me turn that feature on TeamViewer here real quick.
Yeah, do that, and I'll try to make this a little bit bigger.
Show remote cursor. Let's try that. What software package is that?
This is Ninja Trader.
Oh, okay.
It's excellent charting, and it's really free charting. You got to get somebody to support it. I'm using Mirror's Futures without using Mirror's Futures.
Okay.
Okay. They won't let you use it. There's a lot of features in the Ninja Trader trading area that you don't get. But the charting is all here. It does volume, it does Renko, it does ticks, it does ranges, minutes, seconds, hours, days, weeks, and so on. Now, if you look here, and like I say, I don't know, can you see? Okay, the bottom chart is the Dixie or the DX. That's the dollar compared to a group of other currencies, mostly the euro. Okay, but that's why it's called it's the Dixie.
When you say the bottom chart, now
Notice there's two charts on the one chart.
Yeah, one over top the other. Okay. So that's
Go to the other one. Go to the other
the
one.
one on the left. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a delay if you're looking at the replay.
Right. Okay. On the top one, there's a space in between. You had some up over onto the far right. There's some down red candles. That's aftermarket. The Dixie does not operate aftermarket.
Okay.
So if you look, you have green up candles just before the light blue or cyan line. And if you look down at the Dixie, which is the bottom of that chart, they're red. If you look to the left, now the scale's not going to be the same because the CL moves so damn much and the Dixie doesn't, okay? But if you start looking where the Dixie goes up or down, the CL does the opposite. So that's giving you a way to watch. So when that Dixie heads down, watch it. That CL is heading up. It caught me badly the other day when, what the hell was it? I guess they came out with some idiot thing about the debt ceiling or whatever the hell it was. And down went the Dixie and up went the CL. And I didn't anticipate it. And like Sue, I got caught in one of those. It never came back for me. So this I discovered. The other thing is the 6E, which is the future of the euro. It works really close with the oil. And the reason it does, so let me bring up these. I'm going to minimize this Dixie and CL for a second and then bring these two over.
You got enough icons on that desktop?
No, I need more. If you look, this thing here, it's going to do, it's not in sync, but what you find is because the 6E, which is the euro future, is the opposite of the Dixie. In other words, when the euro goes up, the dollar goes down. This is currently, that's not always the case. But right now, what you're getting is this absolute easy to read. When the one goes up, the other goes up. When the one comes down, both of them come down. In direct opposite to how the dollar's working right now. And that's because of the political landscape.
So they're coupled.
So they're coupled. If you look at the CL and the euro, they're pretty well coupled because they're both fighting the dollar together. And if you look at the CL and the dollar, they're going to be opposite movements. So it helps right now to use those two.
So
also,
what you're saying is basically the oil. That's what we're talking about here. I don't know if anybody realized that we're actually talking about oil. Oil prices and the dollar directly coupled together, but in the opposite direction.
Right now, that's true.
Okay, and I guess that would make sense because they're using, aren't they? There was something it was a show I was watching the other day, and they were explaining how since the dollar is what they're valuing the oil in, is the U.S. dollar. So when the dollar falls, the price of oil, it takes more dollars to buy the same oil. So
exactly.
They're going to be at least coupled, almost exactly coupled, at least because of that, right? So, but I guess you could also have a situation where you would have something would affect the oil, like a hurricane or a natural disaster or a war or something like that, but that may not necessarily have an effect on the dollar. Is that correct?
Correct. Right now, I'm saying this is true.
Okay.
Because we haven't had a hurricane or anything
But
else.
if we had a major difference in the dollar valuation, then the price of the oil should do just the opposite.
Yeah.
But if something happened to the price of oil because of some external event, then it may not necessarily have any effect on the dollar.
Well, and the big thing is, I'm just giving people some ideas that I've been finding work real well for me. Okay? It's not that that's going to be forever. And what I've found throughout my trading is understanding the different indicators, keeping them very few so that I don't need to I don't get things that say one thing and the other indicators say something, so I'm stuck trying to figure out what the truth is. That's why I have fairly simple charts. I mean, on my main chart, my price area, I have what's called a Hall moving average, which is really trendy to the price. And I have Bollinger Bands. Down here, I have a 3510, which is the blue line of the stochastics. And that gives me a longer term trend. And then I use the same fast stochastics 1433 as John uses. And later, maybe if we have some time, I'll go into how I do that.
Okay.
Let me just interrupt for 1 second.
It's your turn,
Guys,
anyways.
Whoever is listening here, no, very, very important. Whoever is listening here to Trade for Pay, that is the only way I would ever trade this market with his chart set, with his study set. The stochastics with the moving averages, the one that you're seeing, I believe, on your charts now, the one that looks mostly yellow, okay, with the up and the down movement, showing the trend and when it's about to change. Without that, I would not put a dime into this market. Paramount. So anybody that really cares about that, that is the most important thing. And Trade for Pay, you so rock. I would not even think about trading this market without those indicators. So thank you so much, Bud. Back to you.
Yeah, no problem. But what I find is they're all working in sync. Okay, I do use, these are ones, because I only have one screen I could put on, I'll bring up, let's see, where is it here? This is my toss chart. Okay, and it should come in just a minute.
Hey, what's up, Cousin Vinny? See Cousin Vinny in the room.
Yeah.
Big Iron. Let's see who else has come in here.
Let's move these.
If you guys are just joining us, I'm Mark.
Yeah, really good for charting. For those out there, you know, it's not an endorsement or not. I think the toss charts are amazing, and I'm not here to recommend or trash anybody's thing, but toss on the executions for futures. I lost so much money when I first started doing this, thinking it was me. Yeah. And I'm sorry, they are just not up to speed. They're trying to integrate Thinkorswim with TD Ameritrade.
Yep.
And it's just not working out. And I opened up a new futures account with Mirrors, and I used NinjaTrader as my platform. And I don't think I'd be able to make any money at all otherwise. So no one's paying me to say this. It's what I feel, but it's absolutely amazing for what it's worth.
Nice.
Throwing that out.
Yeah. I still use. Oh no. I mean, this is a open forum, I believe. What I was going to say, the only reason I use the Ninja charts, they have some things that Toss just doesn't have. And the other problem with Toss, if you look at my Toss charts, I have things that overlay down at the bottom that look like the same area at the bottom as the Ninja Traders are, where it's yellow. On the Toss, it's blue and pink and so on.
Right.
The difference is Toss does not allow each indicator to have its own scale. So what starts happening is it gives you false readings.
Yes. Sorry. But yes, I did notice that.
Yeah. Right. So what I do, I also have on the Ninja Trader, I have things like range charts. In other words, and these are working out really well for me. It's 6 range. So in other words, 6 ticks is a range bar if I say I want 6 range bar. Okay, so if it moves 6 cents on the CL, it creates a new bar. And you get more uniformity in your movement, because when things start going and you get the kind of candles that have a lot of wicks to them, the range bars take care of that much better. Kind of like the situation using Heiken Ashes. Okay.
I'm so glad you can explain that, because I cannot. It is true. You can have a range bar that might last for 15 minutes. I traded the TF the other day, and it took me 20 minutes to lose $60 and get stopped out. And I said, no, I cannot watch paint dry. But a range bar is not a time thing. It's a price movement thing. And if you're used to looking at candles or ticks or minutes, which is how we all normally look at things, I think, starting to look at range bars is really, really different. And it's funky. You can have a range bar, which is a 6-cent increment, okay, if you're using a 6 range. But if the price doesn't move of that instrument for 6 ticks, you could stay there for an hour. And it's very bizarre, but it is a very useful tool. Back to you.
Okay. What I wanted to say is, here's the CL is the fastest thing I've ever traded. Okay. If you look, remember each penny is $10. So if you move 10 cents, you just changed $100 worth of movement. So if I look at this one wiki candle on the top of the toss chart, it's the third candle from the right and it's red. That thing went from 74.27 and it went to 74.42. So it went what is that, 27.40, about 15 cents almost. So that went $1.50 inside of probably 3 seconds or 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And that's why when you're doing the CL, the big thing is you want to be able to work with good trades. That's the most important thing. You got to work with good trades, good signals, and you can make a fortune. Today I made about 68 cents. So that's 680. That's $680 today.
Can you guys spend? How about you guys touch on the some of that about how the relationship is? I know how the ES works now as far as with the ES Mini. What you put out, what you purchase, and what in real dollars it means after you complete your trade. Can you explain that for the CL? Can you explain that to us? How much margin is required? What what's it actually cost you to get how many contracts, and then what does it mean if it moves? How much actual profit in your account will that be once a trade's completed?
Sue, you want to do that? Start it off?
Sure, I have no problem with that. The amount of margin or requirement or whatever really is very dependent on your broker. When I was trying to trade the futures with CD, with cost, they wanted thousands and thousands of dollars. I had to have like $10,000 to trade 2 CL contracts, okay? Which I thought was really out of hand.
Hey, Sue. Hey, Sue. Yeah. It's like your microphone is like changing or something. It's almost like you're like talking in. It's a little bit hard to understand you. It's almost like you're like talking into I don't know what does it sound like to you, Joel? Like just talking into a trash can
muffled.
Or something. Yeah,
it's muffled.
Muffled, and then the next minute it's better. Are you like moving your mic or?
Well, I don't
That's
really
better.
have a mic. I'm sitting at my laptop. How's it now?
Oh, that's perfect. Maybe you were turning your head or something and speaking in the other direction.
Oh, well, I will make sure not to do that again. Sorry, guys.
So you were, that's what it was. Okay, you sound great now. It sounds good. Sorry. And thank you.
No problem. I mean, if I'm going to talk, people should hear, right?
We could hear you.
No.
It was a I didn't want people to, I didn't want to have to ask you to repeat it.
I have a New York accent going, which is difficult enough for some as it is. So.
Well, I don't hear that.
Okay. So, the deal was, I had a separate futures account opened up with TOS, where all of our other accounts are, and they wanted like thousands and thousands of dollars for each CL contract.
It's up to 13 now.
It's insane. So. I decided, with the help of a friend, to go with Miras. I went with Miras, and I get confused because I don't really trade the ES, but it's like either 500 for the CS, and 1,000 for the ES, and 1,000 for the CL, or vice versa. But all I know is I opened up that account with $5,000, and I could trade easily 2, 3, 4 cars if I wanted to. I haven't been doing that. I hope to get into the whole situation where I'm comfortable enough put on 2 and leave a runner. But for $5,000, I've traded this account. I've not blown it out. but $5,000. Toss wanted over 10, and that was just insane as far as I was concerned. So the requirements, as far as I know, vary from broker to broker, and that's my experience with that so far. But you don't have to have a whole lot of money to start trading. You can lose that money relatively easily. As Trade for Pay was saying, a dime is $100, and it moves that quickly. So it's a scary thing, and the indicators are really important. And I think most of my problems were feeling the need to push the button when it was moving. And I would always get in 3 seconds too late and get stopped out because it would turn on a dime. And it turns on a dime. Right?
So would you guys say that per contract that you have similar profit potential as you would with ES Mini?
Oh, you have much bigger.
It's much different.
Bigger.
So, and what I mean by that is, like, in a couple of minutes of time on the ES with one car, you're saying that with the same amount of, cash that you're using to trade the same one car in the same amount of time, you're saying that there's more profit potential in both directions, or a higher percentage. Is that what you're saying?
Much more powerful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because here's the deal. When I look at the ES, it's typically going to move, a big move in the ES per run is $3.
Yeah.
You might get some $5 ones, but even $3, you're talking $150.
Right. I'm trying to get 1 point on just one car, over and over again, and it's just roughly $50, when that happens.
Right.
But
what I do for mine is I do a runner off at 5 pennies. And then I have a further runner. Sometimes when the market is choppier, I'll just set that second runner for 10 or 12 cents. So that can close out if you look here on my chart. Let's go to the left one. This is a 133 tick using Heiken Ashes. Okay, this is during today. This moved from up here was 97.55, and this one hill went down to 97.20.
And how much time is that? How much time is that between?
Oh,
okay, so that's 1427 from 1422.
Okay, so roughly 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. And that went $350.
Yep. So, I try and catch portions of that as do you, Trade, right?
Right. And I never try to get the bottom to the top. I get my piece out of the middle.
Yep.
And happy to do it.
So how much and I know, like Sue said, different brokers require different amounts of, margin requirements and all that. So how much skin in the game to get to trade one contract?
On Sue's, which is Mirrors Futures,
yep.
Okay, you need to have $1,000 margin. Now, a lot of places are going to be $500 for the ES, the NQ, the YM.
Mm-hmm. Infinity's $500 per car.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Infinity is $2,000 for the CL.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And they vary so extremely.
Oh, well, and the reason is because when the oil started going up, the government jumped in with their infinite wisdom and said, we're going to raise the margin requirements, and they moved it from I'm going to say it started at 8. I think it went to 10, then to 12, and now it's 13, 14,000. Okay. Infinity doesn't care. They know how much you have in your account. So if I do 4 cars, they know how much I'm able to, that they can grab my butt if I blow it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Same thing with Maris. The difference is over at Toss and a lot of the other brokers, they want to get you to have the full margin. Now, that's also good, okay? And the reason it's good is you don't get somebody with $5,000 that tries to trade 4 contracts in Miras and they hit something and they get their account liquidated or they get kicked out of a contract.
So,
okay.
So I've got a couple private messages here. So this guy's asking the bottom line, how much to open a futures trading account where they could trade the CL? How much cash do they need if they and I guess I'm going to add to this question, if favorable margin was given to this person, assuming they got the credit's fine, all that and everything, they don't have any problems. Okay. How much cash do you need to put in the different brokers? And you're going to have a certain amount of margin expected to trade 1 or 2 cars or whatever, and potentially how fast and how much money can you make? I see, was it Stang 302 said the ES on average moves $935 a day in range. CL moves $2,400. So that's answering, kind of a percentage question that I had. How much is this thing zigging and zagging? So
it zigs and zags a lot. Now, Javi 0680 just said Infinity is $3K to open an account. I forget how much I opened my account with because it was quite a while ago. But I would say you don't want to trade the CL even at $2,000 a contract. If you're going to do 2 contracts, I'd say $5,000 per contract that you want to trade. Now, that's because when I first started with the ES, I got my butt slammed because I was stupid and did some dumb things. But typically, futures, as much as you believe, man, my stop is perfect and and all kinds of other crap, you have the ability to make a fortune and lose a fortune.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, you just don't walk in there with $4,000 and want to trade 2 contracts.
Right. Having said that, though, the futures trading futures in general, and this is something that a lot of new traders that are poor, all right, don't know. But trading the futures in general is totally different set of rules in the trader's favor. You don't have to worry about the $25,000 pattern day trading rule. You can go in and out of that thing all you want, and that broker will take that commission over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So you can just tear it up. If you want to be an active trader and you don't have $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 account, or $25,000 for that matter, and you really want to trade a lot inside of a vehicle that's not really it's not a company. It's not going to go bankrupt, right? And it's like the minis and the CL and all it says it's futures contract. So you can go in and out, but it's leveraged. The leverage is built in. Well, what I was going to say though is that the cool thing about it, like you were saying, 5-10 grand, trade 1 or 2 contracts, right? Yeah. The worst case scenario, you lose your 5 or 10 grand. You lose it all. So it's leveraged in a way that's amazing because it's very similar to like options, right? Because you really don't have that much skin in the game on some of these options trades, but your potential.
No, it's different. No, options are different.
Well,
Sorry,
I know they're different.
gotta step in there.
I know they're different.
Options.
I know they're different, but typically somebody might only have, a couple $100 in an options trade. The potential for winning is huge, and the maximum loss would be whatever they had in it.
Yes, your risks are defined. That's exactly right, RPM. Sorry about that.
There's a huge ratio difference, like with but then you have time decay and all that factored in all of this, so it's a whole, thing that you're up
Right,
against
that's
there.
the only reason I said that, but you are 100% correct about what you said. I'm sorry, I'm chomping on an egg roll. I beg your pardon.
No, that's okay. Sounds good. I had some Cheez-Its today. I'm hungry.
Good food.
Yeah, really good. So
Traders eat at odd hours. At least this one does.
or not at all.
Yeah, the one thing that I
correct.
want to say, any future, I don't care which one it is, ES, whatever, you are working with margins that are huge. So in other words, you're saying on, let's say the ES is $50 a dollar, okay? Roughly right now, the ES is $1,300, real close.
Yep.
Used to be above, now it's below. So we'll call it $1,300. Multiply $50 times 1,300, so you got 50. You got about 65,000. Is that right? Someone?
Okay.
Okay. You're putting up 500 to trade $65,000 worth of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
So
Yeah. So if
you
it went to
gotta
zero,
see, it could go to zero.
take
Well, it
delivery.
will never go to zero, but it could. President Obama. You're in a short, and they make the debt ceiling go away. You could be in a long, and they come out and say, we're never going to fix this debt ceiling stuff. And it goes right through your stop and blows you out 6 points. Like what happened
right.
on March 6th, or May 6th, whatever it was, 2010. The flash crash.
Oh yeah. Now, if you were loaded in some shorts right then when that happened on the ES, and you were able to cover, right around where that knife stopped falling, right? You could see, that's what people don't understand. You can literally.
But no one wants to do that. No one wants to be in that scenario. That was a nightmare for almost everybody.
Oh, I know a guy that made.
Yeah.
I know a guy that made
I
33
did
grand
some
off
good
of
stuff,
a handful of contracts, and just happened to be in a short right then when it happened, and he covered half of them about halfway down, and he let the rest of them go, and finally covered the other ones. I mean, I don't know. I would welcome that. I'm not saying I'm playing that gamble, but
if you're on the right side of the trade.
Right. He happened to be, you know what I'm saying? He happened to already be in that short, just trying to get a couple of points, regular trading,
No, I understand.
Yeah, and it tanked like that, and he couldn't believe his eyes, and he's not a member anymore, but he cashed in, but
He's in Bali,
but
El Salvador.
So
all of these great places we all want to be.
So like Trade for Pay was saying, it is what $65,000 range there, right? Basically
for just the ES. Now you're looking at $97 times 100 times 1,000. So you're looking at $97,000 in oil. And like I showed you, it can move 50 cents in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see some messages in the room there about what about all the other people that were long. Well, I can tell you this, guys. If you were a member of Day Trading Radio at the time, or fortunate enough to be a listener to John was dumping all of his longs before anything even bad happened to that day. He just said something doesn't feel right. and he was unloading all, no, I won't say all of his lungs, but he was like, okay, I'm out. It just doesn't fit. He had some intuition or something. He just knew, and it was like, I don't know if you guys were watching. Well, Sue, you weren't watching because you weren't a member yet, but Trade for Pay you may have been. When that day happened, and that slide happened, if you had listened to what he was worried about, you could have taken that short, on the futures, so. There were people on both sides of that, though. There were. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had
Of course.
P&G.
It's the stock market. People are always on other sides of the trade, but it was just ridiculous. If you had to stop in for a cent or 10 cents or whatever, the people got taken out at stupid things. Why did you have a bid in or an ask in for that price? They got what they got, and that's how I feel. It actually happened to be my husband's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, went up, it went down, let's go by the water and have some champagne. So that's what we did. Yeah. We came back 3 hours later. Our account was within $2,000 or $3,000 of where it was before. Crazy scene. Sorry I wasn't with you then.
Yeah,
but if it happens again, I'll be with you now.
There's JKXX in there saying that sure enough, John was acting weird. He said things don't feel right, and then it just happened right after that. And I had gotten out of all of my longs about the same time that he was getting out. I only had 2 at the time, and one of mine had just filled. And when he said he was getting rid of his, I just clicked over on the other one I had, and I was down just $100 in it or something. And I clicked on the other one, just market order, and got out of it. And I was sitting there all 100% cash, and that thing just boom, 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 and just went straight down. I mean, it was like unbelievable, If I had known what a future trade was at the time,
Everybody uses that as an example of something. That is something in my 25 years of trading. Over 25 years of trading. The dot-com bubble, all the other crap that I've lived through. Yep. I've never seen anything like that. That was black box crap coming in and out. It's a whole new phenomenon. You can't prepare for that. That's,
Yeah, it was
everybody goes back to it and says, oh, let's prepare for that. You can't prepare for that.
It was...
No, but here's something different, okay? When, I'm going to say this was 3-4 years ago, when the Fed was just getting to be active,
mm-hmm.
an activist Fed, okay? At 2 o'clock, when that Fed report would come out, the ES would jump. Oh my God! It was, it would go up $6. Now, can you imagine being on the wrong end of that?
Mm-hmm.
The other day, when when the dollar dropped and the oil went up, it was a huge thing. So it doesn't have to be something as lame as the flash crash. It's other things that do this. Now, people are saying, how do I trade? How does Sue trade? And maybe that's the most important thing that we talk about. How do we decide to take the trade long or short? And Sue, you don't have a chart, but I mean, I can show real simply what I do with mine, and it's the exact same thing that I do with the ES, the TF, the NQ, the YM. I use the same charting package system as everything. What I'll do, let me, here is the end of today. Okay, so let me go to the start.
If you could put up a real-time toss chart, because that's what I'm looking at here at home. The only thing
what time real time? You mean now?
Now.
Tonight?
They're
up.
Well, it doesn't matter. But the only thing that we do differently, if we do anything differently at all, because you are the master and I am the grasshopper, let that be known.
No.
I have no problem with that. The only thing that we do slightly differently, maybe, is I throw up fibs. And when I first started doing this, I waited to trade for the bounce off of fibs. And now, in the last week or two, the only difference that I've made in my trading strategy is I will not trade when...
Let me interrupt here just for a second. I apologize.
Oh, sorry about that.
I need to adjust. Uncle Phibbs says, "Hey RPM, I know I have signed up a few times. This is my third time. I also have a set of red flags for you." Honestly, Uncle Phibbs, I have absolutely no idea who you are, and the only one that really watches stuff like that is Brian. So, just welcome back. I don't know what happened, but feel free to send me a private message if you need some help. Sorry, Sue. Go ahead.
No, not a problem at all. I started doing this, and the fibs are important because if you can set them up right, they
what
are
time
balancing.
frame are you using, Sue?
You know, when I wake up in the morning. Oh, awesome! Let me join you in that. Cheers. When I wake up in the morning, anytime between 7 and 8, usually, I get up, I turn on my stuff, and I see what's gone on during the night. If it's been relatively flat, it doesn't matter. I tend to not move them from the day before unless there's been a big movement. When there's been a big price movement, I adjust them. And when I have to adjust my fibs more than 2 times a day, it's a crazy market, and that's when I started losing a lot of money. So if I have to adjust my fibs more than 2 times in a day, I think from now on I will stop trading, and that is something I've learned, the art of waiting for the trade.
Yep.
So without a visual to show you, it's kind of hard. And if you understand fibs, you can do it yourself.
Do you want me to put a fib at 8 something?
Okay, let me try and look at my other computer that has the sound on and stuff. So fix a chart, and it doesn't matter. It's any chart of anything. It truly doesn't matter. The fibs are the fibs. Like RPM, I know you're listening, and you're like, my fibs, NC Dave's fibs. The fibs are the fibs. They just are. But let me try and do this, guys, because that's the only thing I think can add to this.
Sue, I see a fib that I could run from, say, 840, and it's about the same height at 830. And it drops down at 9:05, maybe. See if that looks right.
Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds, please, guys. Let me adjust my chart. I'm looking at. Okay, my eyes aren't as great as they used to be. Let me just check that out. I'll be right with you, bud.
Okay.
Okay, I have a chart up. I have a low that was at, give me a second. What time is that? 9 o'clock. Roughly around 9 o'clock. It was a low of the day at...
Right. I got 907.
This is 96.80. Got that?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Top of that would be a short time later at 98.01.
Okay, so I got a drawing, fib retracement. Okay, and you went up, what time is that?
I much more look
10:30.
at 10:15, 10:30, but the price that you need to look at is $98.01. That's what I put the top. Okay?
Oh, you really went up. Okay.
Well,
I see where you are. No. I see where you are.
That's the deal.
Did you look where it bounces around?
And if you pull that chart up, I have it on my screen. It's not going to look the same as yours, but that started at what time in the morning, honey? And it was
9 o'clock.
Pretty much. All right? And if you put the fibs right there, look at how they bounce around in between those bands. It's absolutely amazing.
Okay, I'm going to have to go.
I would love to be able to share this with you guys. I hope you can see it because we don't make the fibs. The fibs make us. The fibs are there. But if you look at that chart, okay, I hope Trade you could put that up, buddy. If you look at that, I'm seeing it on my screen, and it bounced around in between. Let me get up because my eyes are bad. It bounced around in one band for most of the day. When it started to settle out, after the down drop at, how was it, 1:30? At 1:30, 2:30?
What time frame? What time frame, Sue?
I'm using a 133, but it doesn't matter because fibs are going to hit dollars.
That's the beauty. It doesn't matter. You could use a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 24-hour. They stay the same, and that's
right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's absolutely true.
And and I know RPM. You're like, with NC Dave, the 15 minute. But you know what? It applies to a 1 minute as well. You know what, Joe? If you could put up the 133 tick chart, it's even better.
It's on the big thing on the screen.
So if you were saying if you draw your fibs from some of the larger runs and the larger ranges, obviously those fibs will still be there no matter what time frame you go to. But I guess if you were using
a bottom and a top, a significant bottom and a top.
Right. Now if you were
major period of time, they will bounce around in there.
Yeah.
They just look at it.
If you were trying to use fibs on a 1 minute chart or something like that, though, you can't take those and apply those back to larger time frame, I guess. But
but RPM you can. That's the beauty of it. It'll work no matter what time frame you want to put on your chart.
You're looking at 133. Oh, we're gonna change it to 1 minute.
You could change the time. The thing is, you take the bottom, and then you draw the fib between the bottom and the top of the day.
1 minute's not that.
And a 1 minute chart is absolutely fabulous. You take it from the bottom, and you wait to move to a range, and you have to change it sometimes. If it moves outside of the range, if you have a $3 price change, it's going to move out of that range. You have to redraw your fib, and I don't like it when it moves out of the range. I don't like to redraw my fibs. But
hey, what's up, guys? This is Michael Freeman.
Hey, man.
Hey, Michael.
As far as redrawing them fibs, if you start right there at the 50% line and to start your new fib or anywhere real close to it, and to the next high, that's the perfect way to do it. And something I noticed y'all wasn't using on your fibs is targets, like a negative percentage, like 23.6. And I got a secret one, 11.8. Nobody uses that, but I swear by it.
I think. Let me address.
Go ahead.
I think my point was that if you're using fibs in a on a 1 minute chart, and your entire trading focus is an hour's worth of trading, all right, those fibs don't mean anything to fibs that went back 2 years ago.
No, RPM, stop for a second. Stop for a second.
Yes, they do.
They it's very hard to explain. You have to go back and establish a range. If it's been like a 20, 30 cent range, there's nothing to talk about. The reason that I gave you the indicators that I did for those times, it dropped really low. And then it went up really high, probably a half an hour later. And that actually turned out to be the range for the entire day.
Right.
And they bounced off of those fibs on a 1 minute chart. And if you look at the entire day from 9 o'clock this morning, when my eyes aren't that good, whenever I told you to draw that chart from, if you look at the entire range of the day, they will bounce off of those lines the entire day.
Right.
They go through them here and there, but it's a guideline. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to say if you're concentrating on if you're just drawing your fib, right now off of a range that's just started happening today, it may not be relevant on a larger fib that's happened that could have been drawn back 2 years ago from the very high of the market.
Never do that.
But the other way around, never do that. Yeah, the other way around can come into play. So a fib that was drawn all the way back, at the highs of the market back, whatever it was a few years ago, and that fib may come into play at any time.
Weeks.
Right.
But
right.
if it's good from 12 to 24 hours, no longer. I'm sorry, Dolph. A fib is not good for, as far as I'm concerned, the way I use them, the way I know them. You're not going back more than 24 hours. You might be within several hours, depending on the market move.
Okay.
It's not.
But they do work. They do work. I mean, I see daily charts all the time, and the fibs are drawn on them, and the things hold true completely.
I know people who do that. Especially with the CL, it moves so quickly, it moves so fast, it moves so erratically. Sometimes I draw my fibs differently 3 times in a day. I don't like to, and when I do that, I tend to stop trading because it's moving too erratically. For me, that's just me. It's just what I'm saying. But if you take a 24-hour period, because unlike many other instruments, the CL trades almost 24 hours a day. Yeah. So there are slow periods, but it is always open.
Yeah, I don't think
so 24-hour period to me is valid.
Yeah, I don't think I've had plenty of NC Dave's classes.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you guys understood what I was trying to say. I'm not saying that the fibs don't work. I know that they're working. I'm just saying that what I mean is they're working. Fibs that you're drawing today on today's chart are and they're working or shorter time frame than some larger fibs that are out there on larger charts that are already in place. Sometimes the larger fibs, the ones that have been drawn or could be drawn from a larger time frame back, may come into play even on the particular day that you're trading in. But for the most part, futures traders, like what we're talking about tonight's show, you guys are going to be talking about shorter term fibs that are happening today or on the day that and I think that's what we don't want to I'm trying to explain it. We wouldn't want to confuse somebody with fibs from a longer term unless you're a larger trader and you say, well, I'm making my bets right now back based on this 50% that goes all the way back to 1992, okay, and I'm placing my bets and I'm going to get on my yacht and I'm going away. We're not like that. We're trading fibs.
I'd like to be like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to get on my yacht.
But
RPM, these things work long term just as good as they do short term.
I know they do.
I got a crude oil chart I drew this week that the range we made in the first week of May predicted the low of the summer for crude oil at $90 a barrel.
Yep,
if you got a negative 23.6 target, I mean that's a $5,000 move in 2 days.
Yeah, there's NZAD saying that they work just like the EMAs. Exactly right. When you change your chart time frame, the EMAs start showing up in different areas from way back whenever. The different time frame causes all that to move. And I'm not saying that they're identical to fibs. I'm saying that those come into play, way back. If you zoom in on a 1 minute chart, you might not see the 200 that's on the daily. But then if you zoom in and say, well, a little later on today, there's a 200 in range, that would be in the daily that's approaching, but you're not seeing it because you're on the shorter time frame is what I'm saying. But you guys, you guys are using like the 1 and the 5 minute, and the 15. What do you guys specifically like during your day?
15 minutes is most appropriate for fibs.
Okay, you use the 15.
Mm-hmm. Don't even use your indicators on your fib chart. Get you a 1 minute or a tick chart. I like to use a 300 tick chart or a 100 tick chart with statistics and any other indicators you're into. I personally ain't into indicators, but
so just leave those off.
Clean 15-minute chart with no volume or nothing, and draw your fibs, and it give you a nice size candlesticks and you can read those candlesticks. You got hammers, you got Greystone dojis.
Right.
Right. And then when you see them big, tall green bars, they're nothing but bodies, there's going to be follow-through. Don't short into it.
So you like a nice, clean chart with nothing distracting you, and you like nothing but candles, 15-minute chart, and you draw your fibs on there, and that's all you need.
Well, your support and resistance that way. And, just like I got resistance at 1301 tonight because, it's halfway back into our range. And that's the overnight resistance. If you want to be short this market, try to take a stab at 1301.
Ahmed is asking what indicators do we recommend using. We were just getting into that. I guess the fibs are pretty much what everybody, at least for futures
That's
traders.
really not an indicator. I don't
No,
think.
I guess it's indicating to you right then, but it's
just
I
a
guess
helper.
yeah.
I would
a
never
mathematical
trade just
calculation.
on the fibs.
I guess it's an indicator. If you really think about it, every indicator that we use is a mathematical calculation. So I guess the fib is an indicator, but it's not. It's a little different than I guess than what most people are used to using. Like a
It's for those field traders, the guys who feel the market. They don't use technical analysis. They just feel it. I don't know how they make a living.
Yeah, but you got like an EMA or, would be an indicator that's mathematically constantly calculated. The Bollinger Bands are constantly calculated. Stochastics are constantly calculated. One of the things that wouldn't really be an indicator would be chart pattern recognition. That's not really an indicator. That's something that you use to your brain or
I can tell you this, RPM. I've used probably everything there is to use at some point or another. I mean, I used to do confluence on fibs.
You used to have your own ticker machine in your house, right?
Well, but I used to chop, put my hieroglyphics in the stone.
Yeah.
So I could send it into my.
Did you know right when the alien spacecraft was coming down to pick those tablets up off your front lawn?
Front lawn, and sometimes I'd put them in the back. That's it. What I find is no matter what works for you, if you can read it, it's successful for you. John, I don't trade the way John does, but he sure as hell is successful. So it's what works for you. That's the biggest thing I could pass. I can use MACDs. I can use, money flow indicators. I can use all the stuff. Whatever works for you is what you should be using. People I know use, patterns. John's great with patterns. He's great with trend lines. I don't use them because I use something else that works for me.
Right. I know what you're saying. I'm doing something totally different that nobody else is doing, and it seems to be working for me. But my problem is when it doesn't. Trying to get out without losing everything that I made previous 2 or 3 days. But I'm only playing around with one card at a time.
But you know what? Then your thing to do is work on paper and say, okay, one of the signals I find in my trading is if I get the signal that says, let's say I'm in a down and I get the signal says I should go up on this trade, get the hell out. Yep. When I get the opposite signal, that's pretty good reason for me to get the hell out.
Yeah.
A lot of newer traders can't control that when they know that the trade is giving a signal to go against them. And they just can't accept the fact that they got to get out of that trade and pay the commission. And then they take a hit.
I almost stopped out on the ES trade today. I say stopped out. It would have been a mental, let's just get out. John got out of a trade flat, and I held it, but I was so close, but it was just for 1 point, and it went back the other way, and then later on it tanked, and I would have been way up on it. But I think the reason why so far I'm having success after my first couple of weeks, I've been doing about 3 months now, off and on, just a couple of trades a week. But the reason why I think I'm having success is because I'm not asking a whole lot. I'm only asking for like a half of a point or a whole point if I'm lucky. I put that in there, and it's like, what really sucks is a lot of times I'm right, and the thing will move 2 or 3 points fast, and it just blows right through my 1 point that I wanted. Mine's already filled, and I already made my money, and I'm sitting there wondering why I didn't hold on to it longer. Well,
because guess what, RPM?
But I'm not going to change that.
You're feeling.
Up, baby.
I'm not going to change that, though. I'm not going to change that, because if I say, you know what, I'm not letting that do that to me next time, I'm not going to, if I try to change, because every trade's different, I'm not going to let that happen next time. Because what always happens, if I take that order off, what always happens to me is I think I can get more. It turns around and goes the other direction. I have found this range that I seem to be able to get filled, and I'm just accepting small little base hits like that, and my success rate is done well. Doesn't mean that I've made a whole lot of money. No, about $900 in the last couple of months. But so it's not a whole lot of money.
Bluesman just said something that's really good and important. One of the nice things about futures is you don't need to go for 3 times, for $3. You can, once you get confidence in your trade,
use more cars.
Just one more at first. Get confident with that. It's the confidence that you need, so that I had a friend, he was really great. He got up to 10 cars. Whoa. And he lost his confidence, and I mean, it just killed him almost. He got it back when he went down to 2 cars, and then he built back up, but he went up to 10, and after that he was able to trade the 10. So once you get that confidence, the nice thing about futures is you don't need to go for a $3 run instead of a $1 run. You go with 2 cars. And maybe the first car you get out at your buck, and the second one $1.50 eventually. Mm-hmm.
So, and that is exactly the point that I am at right now. That is so true. What wise words. That is exactly where I am. Gaining the confidence to go a little bit larger and take smaller risks.
Yeah, get out with your first one at 75 cents and your second one at $1.50.
Yeah, that's I find myself like, that's exactly what I need to do with maybe too. So like if I can get a point and things, and I was right, and things really good, because you guys see me post in the room all the time.
Always. Wow, yeah, you've been doing good.
I'm like,
yeah,
well, I just got.
Proud of you, bud.
I'm like, I just got a point out. There's my point right there, and then it's like, and then now it's going to drop another 5, and it's just like as soon as it's like. It's like I'm getting like little nibbles off the side of a 2,500-pound cow. It's like I think I'm doing jumping jacks. I'm so proud of myself, and then I'm like, what am I talking about? Just going to cunk the cow in the head and jug the whole side of beef in the house. But it's like you never know what's going to happen. The thing may turn around and run over you.
From the cow dragon, you're in trouble.
Or if it's really a bull and the thing's mad at you and then he tears you up, it's like. It's like I go out there with a little pocket knife, try to get me a little piece of meat.
There was a very nice move up in the CL as we're talking, but I'm chatting and not trading. Good for you.
Yeah, there really was. I don't trade it at night. I just don't like it. But hey, see now I'll tell you what. If you look at my chart that I got right now.
I just took it down.
Okay, this is the Sioux. Oh, that's right. You got the other one up.
Hold on. This is the Sioux?
Well, it is. Yeah.
It's a new index?
It's a new index. I got the CL, the TF, and the Sioux.
Awesome. If you look, when are we going to play our song, Joel?
Oh, yeah, we got to play. Can you get that song? Or should I do it?
I don't have it.
Roller Coaster says you shouldn't try to milk a bull. I've been there, done that.
Is that from knowledge?
That's funny.
Jay, we need our song.
Hey, I'm going to let you guys go.
Hey, what else? Hey, Michael Freeman, I saw you ask a question in the chat room. Mike Freeman. Hey, I saw you ask me a question in the chat room. You said, "Can you have a private group chat?"
Yeah.
Yeah. It won't be private because other people could see that channel and they could go in there and look at what y'all are talking about. But nothing would stop you from creating a channel and 2 or 3 of you go in there.
Yeah, because I talk to a lot of people in private chat, and then I end up with about 10 different people's names at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if we could all get in on the same conversation sometimes.
Yeah, and you like knock it back and forth between the different ones, and you know what'll happen? That flash chat actually has a tendency to crash when the whole thing gets loaded up with a lot of private messages. It makes it worse. I come in the morning, mine's always locked up because I've got 30 or 40 private messages every single morning. So they're just all the way across, The new site, the new version of the site is going to have rooms. And, different rooms for different types of trading. So just by the very nature, the inherent nature of the fact that there's, 400 or 500 people in the chat room all day long, you branch it off for some, ES traders, you might have 50 go in there. And, 40 of them won't say anything. They'll just watch. So it's going to be a whole lot easier to carry on a more private conversation that's not going to be so flying by, And then we'll probably make a way where you can very easily create another channel, another room for 2 or 3 people if you wanted. That's going to work. It'll be there.
That sounds great. I'm going to let y'all go. I'm going to give you a little crude oil update. It looks like we're going to probably fill a gap if we don't.
Ooh, we just
dumped.
Right
here.
Y'all looking at the ES here?
It's going down.
Yeah, see, the ES is going down and crude's heading up.
Up, yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
No, crude just reversed.
Oh, damn. Look at that. It just took a major dump. Oh, my. If you were...
We're 1292. We're 1292 here.
In at 97.41, which is the fib, you are just down $200. Whoa. Major dumpage. Major dumpage on the crude. Out of nowhere. I don't know what happened in the news, but I'm glad I was stuck with you guys, because I would have been a big-time loser.
Volume pouring.
Guys, I could feel it at 5 o'clock, just the range we had going there. Normally it's just dead.
Damn.
I said it in chat room, there's going to be some volatility tonight.
Yeah, we had a couple of spikes down earlier, and then it just kind of went sideways for a while. But look at that volume we have now. That's the most volume we've had since, let's see.
We're very close to a recent low, too.
Crude just lost 30 cents in about 90 seconds, which if you were trading that was $300 for one car. That was just crazy. But that's the deal.
That's more volume than we've had all day. Look at that scale right there. I just pulled in, no, wait a minute.
60 is dumping too.
Man, that was $4 in the ES, and it's still going.
Shit. Oh, sorry.
We go much lower. Really
4 or 5.
You're getting a little bounce here, though. People are working it.
Yeah.
Some live activity for the show.
We're on
support.
Well, last time we had a show like this with a bunch of people in and we stayed up late, we had the Japan crisis, and we watched the tsunami until 5 o'clock in the morning. I was beat that next morning.
I couldn't stay up all time.
Yeah. We had Rainmaker was on here, and Rainmaker's on with us now, by the way. I want to say hi to him.
Hey, Rainmaker.
Hey.
Hey, Rain,
what's up, everybody?
Hey.
How's everything going?
Good.
Excellent. Glad to have you, bud.
Well,
See, Rain?
I'll be right back, guys. You guys keep chatting.
Go ahead. We'll
go ahead, Joel. Go ahead.
Chat amongst ourselves. Rain, what's up, bud?
You do some of the CL. Now, Junkie just got out with 22 cents on the CL. Junkie was the guy that got me started.
Sweet.
We're dumping.
I've paper traded the CL several times, and I've been practicing, and I've been trying to, to prepare to trade it, for real.
What do you find the best way?
Right here's the target hit.
What'd you say, Mike? Michael?
Hell, we went through the target. This ES.
Oh my God, sure did.
That thing's cratering.
87 was the target. Hell, I ain't even going to touch it, but hey, I'm going to get on the news. Y'all have a good night. My phone's going dead, and my kid's not in bed.
Okay, but hey, it was cool to hear your son today.
Yeah, I figured I'd wake everybody up. He said he wanted to go live on Day Trading Radio last week, so I figured I'd sneak him in there one day.
Oh, Bonner called off the vote for tonight. No wonder. This crap, I'm sorry, this stuff is getting
It's
nuts.
ridiculous.
I mean,
What's gold
These
doing? What's
people
gold
need to
doing?
be.
Oh, what, guys, truly, what happened in the world? I'm not watching TV. I'm hanging out with you guys, but everything that I am looking at is just cratering really badly. What is going on? Something must be going on.
apparently,
Anybody have a TV?
well,
Silver's holding up.
somebody said that Bonner called off. Glenn W. said Bonner called off the vote for tonight
Whoa.
for the debt
This is
ceiling.
Hey, you know,
Yeah,
Junkie, short, God bless you, man. I hold on to that short. It's tanking.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen in damn. See,
97.
anybody that's looking at a
Yeah.
CL
Hey, y'all
chart
have a good night.
now, that's
Hey,
the
Michael,
CL.
have a great one. Thanks
Damn.
for calling, bud.
Wow. I'm being blown away by this. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
Every time I get on with RPM's Trader Spotlight, some major news event happens. What is it with me?
I wish you'd quit getting on, man. I mean,
Well, tell us first.
I know
Go
it.
short.
They're
Go
gonna
short.
ban me.
let us know so we can get out quicker, get in quicker.
Oh my
They're
God.
gonna ban me for sure.
No.
I was on with the Japan earthquake, and then there was another time I was on here, and something else happened.
Just give us a heads
don't
up in
remember
the
right.
chat room first. We'll take our positions. that would have been $1,000 if you were short crude right here. Wow, that's huge. Sorry, I'm just blown away because awesome. Sorry.
I would jump in. I would not
It's
jump
bouncing
in.
now.
CL or the CL internetal. I mean, one of the things that I find, if you look on my stock chart, oh damn it! I just blew away. Hold on, I just knocked out day trading radio here.
Oh damn, you're a powerful man.
No, I knocked it out only on mine. There we go. Okay, come on, log in. There we are.
Hey, while you're fooling around with that, Joel, let me thank you for last month coming to my rescue after my after my bad trade.
As an aside,
Huh?
go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that we have so many good members here on Day Trading Radio, good traders who are experienced, have a lot of life experiences in addition to their trading experiences. And, for new guys like me, when we come in and we mess up, we do something wrong, we make a mistake, it's nice to know that we've got people like Joel and people like Sue that we can call or we can PM in a message and say, I just majorly screwed up. What do I do? Or how do I get out of this? Or, how do I deal with my loss or whatever the situation is. And I tell you, Joel he was really great with me. I was beating myself up. I was feeling really bad. And he came out and he made me feel a lot better. Gave me some advice, and I really appreciate that, Joel. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Like I say, I look at it. I used to play football and some other stuff, but the football was the best for me. If you missed the play, your buddies would come over and say, "Okay, listen," and you all love to high five each other, and that created that team spirit, and that's what I feel in this room, and that's why I like that stuff. So never worry about helping somebody in the room if I can, because I've been there and done it.
And I will say again and again, I am the cheerleader. I want to be there for all you guys as the days go by, the weeks, the months
We just
go by.
like that.
I can help. I don't claim to be an expert, but I will always be there with anything I can be there for you guys. That's what the room is. It means a lot to me. Can't wait to
You know
see
what
you
I
guys.
could say, Sue?
What's
I
that?
really like the short cheerleader skirt you wear when you come on.
Oh, now the cat's out of the bag. Jethro. I want to hear our song.
I don't know how to do it. I tried to get it can't come over my microphone.
Okay, RPM, we need a little help here. Can you help us out? Oh, he's taking a whiz. All right.
Oh,
Hey, let me. Can I ask you some questions?
sure, absolutely.
Now I know for me, when I started trading the CL, and I'm mind you, I'm only doing it with paper money, but when I started it was exhilarating and it was really fun for me. But yeah, there are times when you will you will literally get whipped, and I found for me a couple of different strategies to apply helped me to get into a trade safer. But the biggest problem I have is with stops on the CL because that thing moves erratically and it moves very quickly, even though it'll go in a general direction and trend, but it could snap back on you and take out your stop immediately. So how do you manage your stops?
Yeah, and that is a problem, and it really depends on the day. I mean, it really does. I was going to talk about this. One of the things that you got to really watch on the CL is what your current market type is. I'm going to pull my thing over here, and this is a somewhat choppy market today, but let's just look at. I'm going to open this up some.
I'm back, guys.
Okay, bud. I'm going to open up this chart a little here. Okay, now in the center of this chart, this is 130 today. Okay, you have this, and it starts with, I'm going to talk a little bit about how I trade the CL. Okay. This is what I call a trending market. At this point from, let me get a drawing here. Time text note. Let me see here. Okay, let's go from.
That's totally true. Can I say something for just a half a second?
Absolutely. Maybe? Absolutely.
During the course of the day, you do see the way that the instrument, in this case the CL we're talking about, is trending, which is not to say there are not some counter trend trades to be had. There's some great counter trends to be had, but just watch out for them because they will bite you. I go for them with a much shorter stop, a much shorter target, take 5, 6, 7 cents, because you just know that it is wanting to go the other way. But if you look at that chart that trade has put up, you see it ebbs and flows and ebbs and flows. Even though it is trending in a direction, it goes both ways. So, little bits and pieces. That's all. Go ahead, bud.
Okay, what I was going to say, if you look at the center of this chart right now, it starts down at the bottom, okay? And this, in the bottom part where the indicators are, for just a minute, forget the bar-looking thing that looks like a MACD. What that is it's called a TTM squeeze. Trade the market squeeze. So it's John Carter, I think. I forget. But what you basically have that are the line systems, okay, is I have one long-term line that's kind of yellow gold looking thing. That's a 3510 stochastic. Now, you see a green and black line. That's my 14.3, same stochastic as John uses. When this takes off, this works real well in trending markets. So what I have, if you look, is a long-term trend up on my slow stochastic. So the trend for this period of time is upwards. Now, because I use the faster stochastic, you notice how it heads up and then it turns down. When it turns down, my candles turn down. But I notice that they only go down as far as the midline of my Bollinger Bands. And when it bounces off of that, I get an uprise on my fast stochastic, and my current slow stochastic still rising. So where I would put my stop, Rain, is below the midline. If I got into that, okay, that's one of the things that I find you want to watch in the CL, even dollars, and structure. So that's why Sue's fibs work so well. That's why Bollinger's work so well. You want to put your stuff below structure. And I want to enter where I see a movement that's up on my stochastic after a bounce from structure, which is my midline.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, it goes up to a certain height. I get some leveling out. And what do I get on my fast stochastic? Some leveling out right in this area here. And then it goes down, and my fast stochastic heads below my long term. And I suddenly get a turn back up of my fast stochastic while my long term's heading up. And what do I do again? Because it's trending, I bounce off of my midline again, and I run up until it runs out of steam. And then I get it down on my fast stochastic, bounces off midline, I get back in. If I keep following that, and this is a trending market, in other words, I'm bouncing off a structure. If I get that, I can make 2-3 trades on that area. And that was within the time of 13:25 to 13:40. So 15 minutes.
Yep. Yep.
I could have made, well, each one of those runs are somewhere between 15 cents and 20 cents. So I easily get my 5-cent first one out, my 10-cent, 12-cent second one out. So there's $300 to $450 inside of 15-20 minutes. But what's good is you gotta know what the market is doing. So this is what I call my trending market. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to a different one. And here, if you look at this area, And I may not have done any of this because I'm not sure. Oops. Hold on, I got to go to get off of that.
If you guys are just joining us, I'm RPM, and we're doing a Trader Spotlight Live, and we've got Huxu and Trade for Pay on tonight, and also Rainmaker is on the phone with us. And we're just covering futures trading, and not 100% specifically to the CL, but most of it. And we just had I guess it was 10:30. We had an announcement that the House of Representatives has held off on voting on the last piece of legislation or whatever that that was ready for vote. So they've canceled the vote on that, and that's what's evidently what's caused the futures to crash. And nice bounce.
Get it to the house.
It looks horrible, but the Dow futures were only down about 90. So I mean, but the fact that it happened in 10 minutes of time,
Well, yeah, it's 10:30 at night. It's just so crazy. How do you know how to trade when they're doing all sorts of stupid crap at 10:30 at night? And I really, truly wished I could just go to cash and sit out, but I'm managing all the money that we have, and I just can't go to cash at night. Every day I'm pulling more out. This is just crazy stuff. It's just enough to make you lose what hair you might have, or turn what brown hair you might have gray.
So what do you guys think?
Hard.
I don't know if you guys heard my rant yesterday on the or today about the this whole debt ceiling crap and what it means.
Yeah, I liked your barge solution.
Yeah, I know that would actually work. That would be worth. I'd forfeit all of my tax money for the next 50 years to have that happen. But it's just crazy because I really feel like they're arguing over a very minor. They're talking about spending $54 trillion over the next 10 years, and then they're really arguing over $300 or $400 billion over 10 years.
It's a principle thing. I don't think it's a dollar thing. It's a principle thing.
Well,
but I don't really want to get political.
Yeah, I don't either. Look,
so political. But you want to start a fight?
I'll just say this: I'm a small government guy. I'm more of a libertarian than anything. But
same here.
Yeah, I just because nothing that really the government does makes anything better. Free market system works amazingly well, in place by itself. But I mean, this overspending and everything. I mean, this whole credit thing. I don't understand that either because. And I said this earlier today. I said, if you owe somebody a couple $1 million, you have a problem. If you owe them a couple of trillion, they have a problem. And there's a lot of people that are saying, making comments like this in the room. We're the U.S. Why are we shooting ourselves in the foot? Don't we make our own credit decisions of who we're going to borrow money from? And then on top of that, we have you okay? Trade for Pay.
Yeah.
Well, on top of that,
because we are too stupid right now, and what we have is a government. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, true. And here's another problem. All right, we're not going to default if we don't raise the ceiling. There's not going to be a default. Okay, a default would mean we don't pay our debts or our obligations. They've already said that all they have to do is just cut back on some of the discretionary stuff. People, they still have the income for the Social Security payments are still coming in. Social Security payments will still go out. Same thing with the Medicare, the Medicaid and Medicare, all that. Everything will still get paid. And what will happen is you'll wind up with some discretionary spending that they won't be able to meet those immediate needs for some of that discretionary spending that's planned for the future. And they'll just chop that stuff and put it on the back burner until, we can borrow more money. The problem is there's not enough revenue. You don't need to borrow more money. Here's what I'm thinking. Why wouldn't our credit rating go up if we stop borrowing money? Why would it go down if we stop borrowing money? I don't understand that.
Because they're not going to stop borrowing more money. They just want to vote on some garbage that
But what I'm saying,
this is not.
They're making the argument
going to help anybody trade.
No, well, it might, that's true. All right, well, we'll change the subject back to. It was the event that caused the futures to drop just a few minutes ago.
Yes, it was.
You know, so it might cause somebody to stop trading.
Or lose everything while they're trading.
Or Junkie just made enough to make another house payment.
He's got a lot of payments. So,
but he just made them all. But I guess here's another thing that bothers me.
There are two sides to every trade. The secret, the key of life is knowing which side to be on at the moment. That is it in a nutshell. And I know that seems really simplistic, but the people that make money, I am a small fish in a big pond. Junkie is amazing. Trade for Pay is amazing. There are so many other traders. They're amazing. And I truly believe that their secret to success is just knowing, for whatever indicators, their gut, whatever it is they use, knowing which side of the trade to be on. Because I find it very interesting in the room watching the people that are now trading the S. All right? I'll see someone says, I'm going long at 1300. A line below that, I'll see in the chat, someone says, I'm short at 1300. But you know what? Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. But without that dynamic, there is no market.
Yeah.
And we all do the best we can, right?
Yeah. But what really sucks is that, you can have all your indicators and your technicals and everything and your system down, like obviously you guys have Trade for Pay, obviously. Junkie has his system down, it's working.
Me too. I had a winning indicator and I got stopped out within 3 seconds for no good reason. Yeah. It just went against me. It happens.
Yep.
It just happens.
That's why it's an 80% probability.
Yeah.
Correct.
That means 20% of the time you're going to get your butt handed to you.
If you were long before that news came out, you're in trouble.
Today, I'm so happy. Yay!
It's all this news and stuff that gets thrown out there that can really frustrate people. All this news that comes out can come out at any time,
Freaking news. It gets in the way of our trading, boy. Just kidding. Sorry.
But let me say one more thing I want to say. We talked about this all day today. I mean, in the spirit of that, this is what's going on right now. But let me just. This is something else that I don't quite understand. They say that they're if we don't raise the debt ceiling, they're going to completely change the credit rating or whatever. And that would cause, when the credit rating changes, that would cause a complete collapse. The credit rating agencies that we're paying attention to are U.S. based. I don't understand why. They're saying, they're trying to make the argument that we wouldn't even be able to service our own debt if the rates changed just a couple of basis points, or just a very minor amount because of a overall credit rating change, or downgrade. Okay, so they're trying to make the argument that if we don't raise the ceiling, then they're gonna screw up our credit score, which means our interest rates are going to go up, and then we won't be able to make our debt payments because the interest rates are going to be so much higher. And if we can't make our interest rates, it's going to snowball. We're going to be in universal default with no way to borrow more. I mean, it just sounds like to me that we're heading for a downgrade in our credit status no matter what, or at least we should. I mean, if we're in such bad shape that we need to borrow even more money, and if we can't borrow even more money, then that means we're really screwed because they're going to, oh my God, it's just the most craziest crap I've ever heard in my life. Why don't you just turn back on the damn snowblower that has the money flying out of it, and we don't need to borrow no more? I mean, if that's what we've been doing for the past 2 years, why don't they just turn the damn snowblower back on and blow some more cash out there?
Because it cost us a lot of money in corn. It cost a lot of money for oil. When you turn that snowblower on, remember what I said, that the CL is in opposite direction of the dollar?
Yeah.
So when you turn that snowblower on, you're going to pay $5 at the pump. You're going to pay $7.95 for hamburger a pound. That's your problem.
Uncle Phibbs says, please let me Skype RPM. Who's supposed to do that? There's nothing preventing you from calling. If
Let me get back to
trading. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, no, it's not a problem. I just it upsets me. Sorry about that.
Hey, I love it. It doesn't make me mad at all. I like it.
It upsets me when I listen to that. I quit watching the news, all that stuff, because I know what they're saying. I do watch CNBC, and they lie through their teeth.
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't help me trade. It gets me out of sorts. So.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the you're driving down the road and there's a mountain that's fallen in the middle of it somewhere. You want to try to avoid it, but obviously it's something you really can't. You can't factor it. I guess the only thing you could do is you could say, listen, we're in a big mess, right? All this debt ceiling crap and everything. The market's crazy and everything. Stay off of it. Stay out of it. Don't play with it, because it's going to bite you, because something's about ready to happen. So at least knowing that the news is out there and all this stuff is hanging over our head, if you were able to be all cash and you didn't want to mess with it just because it just frustrated you so much and you couldn't predict anything, you could stay, out of it and just watch it, But something like what just happened when he came out with that news and you're trying to trade tonight and you were in a long there, there's my question I was going to ask you. I've already had 2 private messages about this, about stops. If you had a stop set in your trade, okay, let's say you were long just now at 1296 or so, or you were in a trade 1296 or whatever it was. I don't even know where it was back then before the thing tanked, okay, and it blew right through your stop. Can you explain to us what the mechanics are? What actually happens with the different types of stops, and how you wind up getting out of that trade when it obviously goes against you really bad in a pre-programmed automatic way, and also obviously if you go to liquidate close your position in a manual way?
Well, there's 2 major kinds of stops. Okay, one's called a stop limit, and one is a stop. I think they just call
stop market, right?
Stop what?
Is it stop limit, and then there's another one. Is it stop market?
Yeah, I mean that's basically
it triggers and it just liquidates wherever the market will give it.
Wherever it can run to. Those are the ones. Now, stop limit is going to blow through if you don't get hit.
Right.
Stop market is going to run all the way till it can get you out at market.
Right, whatever that is.
Stop loss. Yeah. That's JD was saying it right.
Yeah.
Okay, stop market.
So you have a trigger price which starts the process of your trade being active. So once it crosses that barrier, then whatever it's set to, if it's set to a limit, then your limit tries to fill. If it's able, but if it's blown past it, your limit may never fill, and then you can really be in a train wreck, like tonight, like what happened tonight. If you had a stop set for a buck or something like that lower than when that thing tanked, and it triggered, so then you were asking $1 lower when it triggered, let's say, but it kept on going. It didn't have a chance to fill because the next bid's way down there lower, and it just kept going lower and lower and lower. You could wind up saying, "Oh my God, how am I down $1,000 right now in the ES, for example? And why didn't my stop hit?" Well, it did. Your order's out there on the table. It just ain't gonna fill because we're playing down there in the bottom of the ocean. You're up there in a rubber dinghy. So, so a stop market order would work, right? Or the stop loss order basically just triggers, and then it just throws a market order out there, and whatever fills, right? So those are the 2 differences.
Right. Yep.
And it's not going to hurt in 99% of the cases, if you have a stop loss, stop market, I only use stop limits to get into things. So in other words, if you're doing what's called a bracket order, where if it goes above this or below this, I want to get in. If it goes below, I want to get this place. Maybe here. I'll look at the ES for a second. Right now, there's a place at 83 is where it hit its low, I think. Okay. 1283, 1284, something like that. If I put in a stop limit, okay, to say if it goes below 1283.50, put me in for a short. If it goes above 1290 and a half, put me in for a long. That's a bracket order. And then one cancels other. And
right,
then
so they're
it'll
conditional.
put me in.
It's conditional because one thing takes precedence over the other, and then one cancels the other out. So it's got some fancy stuff going on in there, right?
Right. And those are generally stop limit orders.
Hey, so we got Steve on here. His Uncle Phibbs, right?
Oh, God almighty.
What's the matter?
Trying to get on for an hour and a half.
Yeah, you just have to hit the button that says call.
Yeah, there's those buttons. That's the button things that get me.
I figured out who you were because even though your real name is in the Skype, you were the last one that asked for add to contact about an hour ago. So I just invited you to the Congress. You got a nice picture there. You know, you have you speak English very well for a orangutan.
Well, you know, you work with them. You know, you've seen the National Geographic shows. They're pretty smart.
You say I work with them?
No.
Oh, I thought you said that.
If you work with them.
Yeah, you do.
I was sitting there saying, man, he's just got on the show for the first time. He's already throwing stuff out there about Dak and John and Dawit and so. Man. So
I was sitting here just watching this thing tank, and I'm thinking, man, I can tell them where this thing's going to stop to the tick, but I cannot Skype RPM.
But so where's it going to stop?
Hey,
it did stop.
Those two guys look like twins.
Who's that? RPM and the orangutan?
I don't have no hair.
No, that was my picture next to the orangutan.
Oh yeah, I pulled it off there. So where's it going to stop at there, Uncle Phibbs?
Well, I'm not going to do that.
No, come on now, look at it. She's going lower. That's the Junkie. That's the Junkie shorting everything he can get his hands on. See.
So y'all just going to start taking information and
look at that thing.
Somebody you never heard from, huh?
Who, you?
Yeah.
We've heard. You called 5 or 6 minutes. We've been talking for 5 or 6 minutes now, right?
No,
Tell us what you know. What do you think?
I had a question to ask you, and I've been on here. It's third time now.
As a member.
Yeah, and
each
time I've blown out an account and had to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And finally, I got it down after about 3 years trading this ES to where I finally quit my job.
Or did it quit you?
No, I quit it.
Now that's saying something.
I don't have to make a whole lot every day to make more than that one, but
that's congratulations, man. If you've done that and you're making some money now enough to where you can quit your job, that's saying a lot. That's a big, bold move.
Yeah, but it's tough, it takes a while sometimes, and I hear everybody, when this thing started dumping and everybody talking about the ES, I'm not taking somebody else's time, am I? No,
we don't need to be off here till about 8:30 tomorrow morning, so.
Holy crap! Okay.
we've had some shows that run at 5:30 in the morning before. That one with the Japan mess. And,
well, no, it's just But, remember 3 times, and I just wanted to let everybody know, I go away, but I keep coming back.
Well, thanks for your loyalty to Day Trading Radio. You're in the right spot.
Oh, yeah.
You are.
Yeah. Now, I don't trade the stocks like Johnny does and stuff, but it doesn't matter. He's the one that got me started. When I first started doing this, that's what I thought, well, I'm going to someday get enough money to open a 25 grand account or something and trade stocks. Well, that's not the way it went for me. I went off on the futures path, the ES path, but I still go back to him. My dad, he likes to trade stocks every now and again, and I said, well, go listen to Johnny,
And you know what? I was going to say a lot of people don't realize, what you can get out of. The majority of his broadcast during the day is, overall market conditions and it's, the stock positions, But what people get once they become a member and they get into the chat room, and then plus the future of the site is going to change a lot, and we're going to have different partitions and different rooms and stuff for different types of trading. So it's going to get even more partitioned. If you want to go in a certain room and talk about the ES, you can. And so that's coming. But it's interesting how you say how Johnny really is a swing trader. But yet you still find the site valuable, and you're trading the futures. So,
right, no doubt.
And there's an awful lot of futures traders, Day Trading Radio members.
Oh yeah,
futures traders. So.
Oh yeah, I'm in there and I listen, all the time. And when y'all started, tonight talking about fibs and stuff,
What's
the
your take on that?
Fibonacci traders. Well, it's. I know y'all have probably heard it said, but you can take a room full of 10 people and ask them how to trade Fibonacci or any indicator, and you're going to get 10 different views on it. It doesn't matter. It's what works for you. Now, the way I trade things, like this big drop we had right here, I already had a fib set up, and where it stopped is where I had it stopping and retracing. But somebody else, may not have. It's just all based on how you do it. It's all different.
So do you find yourself using fibs? I mean, do you use fibs? I mean, you call yourself Uncle Fibs. I'm assuming that you're kind of like...
Well, that's what I was trying to get in touch with you with. I kind of wanted to change that, but...
No, we can change it. Just hit me in a private message or send in a ticket. Just go to the...
Well, that's the other thing. That's what was frustrating me was, I was thinking, man, I could do fibs all day long and make money, but I couldn't figure out how to work the damn computer to get in touch with you.
Yeah. Boy, we could be really good traders if we just figure out how to use these damn computers, right?
Yeah, but, there's ways of figuring out how that, what's going to happen. When it starts, I guess what I want to tell everybody just in a little bit, I know I'm new, and I sound like a hick and kind of like Dave and all that. But
you're from Texas, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, life. You're not a hick.
But the way I use fibs,
NC Dave's a hick.
Well, he is, man. I thought I was because I listened to him. But yeah, the way I use them is a lot like everybody else uses them, but there's just some little quirks in there that I do that I don't see anybody else doing, and the quirk I use usually helps me on something like this when it just dumps. In regular fibs, it just starts blowing through levels.
So what's your tip?
Well, really what I do is, and I'll go ahead and tell you, I can't believe you're wanting to know. Everybody's wanting to know. Some guy that's just...
I don't know anybody that doesn't want to know now. Everybody wants to know that tip.
No, you got to share it now.
Yeah.
Well, what I do is, it depends on whether you use fibs or not. That last high we had, like it... now I'm looking at a 1 hour chart right here, but I can back it back down to 30 or so. Doesn't matter. But the last high we had, was at about 13.13 today. Or when was that? That was 7:28. Today is a 28th, isn't it? Yeah. Today we made the high at 13.13. Well, what I do when it starts hammering down hard like that is take my fib, and usually it depends on how you set your fibs up. Now on toss you can set them up like this, but usually you'll draw from a bottom to a top and get a retracement. Now it all depends on, do you use extensions, fib extensions is what I use a lot. And I draw backwards fibs, and I don't see people doing that based on the last high we had. Well, I'll draw a fib back to the last low we had, and that gives me a 61.8 or 1618 extension. Yeah, see, kind of boring, isn't it?
Now, I'm looking at what I can't get a candle to print on my chart right now.
Oh.
Making money is never boring.
Well, it's just I don't know how people's fibs are set up. You have to have them set up. Set up right. Y'all use extensions. Do y'all use fib extensions or just retracements? Does anybody know about fib extensions?
I use retracements myself.
I use retracements.
No extensions or anything?
Well, I do, but that's a different situation when I'm, if I want to see where it's going to run to, then I'll use an extension.
Okay.
Boss will set up an extension for you if it goes out of the boundaries. It'll give you the 161 automatically without doing anything.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Okay.
See, in that case right there, if you'd have went from the bottom to the top of the last low we made to the top, and you just wanted to get a retracement, assuming it was going to go higher, well, it blew completely through everything and went and made a new low, right?
But it happens sometimes. That's why you redraw. I mean, the market is the market. You have to compensate sometimes, in my humble opinion.
I think what people don't do is they get locked in on a certain time frame. Like they trade a time frame, a 5-minute, 10-minute. And I don't know if y'all agree with me, but they don't back out to see a bigger picture.
I think all experienced anybody would a couple of months of experience at least, or a couple years worth of experience will find themselves going between the different time frames. I do it 20 times, an hour, just constantly going back and looking, rechecking levels from the previous or the different time frames to see what's coming up, on the other. I do it. A lot of people don't though. But once you do figure out, and matter of fact, some people, I think may have been Trade for Pay that was showing us how with Thinkorswim, you can actually set up your charts. You can set up the same symbol with multiple time frames on the same charts, all like on one page, right, Joel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Which has got to be a good tool. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and that's normal, but I don't think people draw them backwards like I do.
What?
Do y'all know what I'm saying?
What do you mean backwards?
Okay, let's say
down.
Well, no. If you've drawn a low, a fib from the low to what was it today? Yeah, at 86.75 up to the high we made today. Start there and go to the high, then you're going to have your retracement levels, your 23, 38, whatever. But the problem was it just blew right down through
at the top, and it puts the 100% at the bottom, right?
Right. You start at the bottom there.
Is that what you get? Okay.
And you draw it to the top, and then you look and see you get your retracements coming back. 50, 61, 76, all the way down. But the problem was it really took off, right? And blew through where you drew it from. Y'all see what I'm saying? You drew it from 95.75 up to the high of today.
Oh, you bastard.
And you start thinking, well, it moved up like that. Well, I'm going to get in, have a retracement and get in there and go higher.
I do?
So,
Can anybody get in Thinkorswim Sync and Destroy right now? Whatever. I can't get logged in that thing from any of my computers.
Yeah, I'm in.
Log out and see if you can go
KJ said
back.
he got booted out.
I'm not
RPM,
gonna get booted out.
I got tossed about 10 minutes ago, and I'm chatting with you guys. I didn't try and get back in, but
And you do.
I
mean, Thinkorswim.
I'm in on another computer. If you want to know something, I can tell you.
No. I want to know what the hell's wrong with my account.
No, there's nothing wrong with your account. It's tossed.
Dude,
That's
common,
why
no good, worthless.
Sorry.
Welcome to Toss.
Yeah, they tossed us. Yeah,
Oh, it's slow.
They tossed all the damn time.
What a great
I
piece
watched
of
it,
software
That's why
when
they
it
call it
works.
toss.
I watch
Yeah.
it usually. It usually happens like when the market takes off or something. Toss just freezes. And
That's pretty much what's happening right
Uncle
now.
Fibs. Uncle
Say
Fibs.
again? Yes, sir.
You were in the middle of explaining your
Yeah.
backward deed.
And I'm sorry,
Deal.
Uncle Phil.
Okay.
I'm sorry for it.
No. That's fine.
I got an extension done, and let me show you what you're talking about.
Okay, hang on.
Go ahead.
No, I'm trying. Well, I can't. I'm afraid to start the dang site again, for it'll start echoing or something. I guess if I just mute it, it'll be okay.
Yep.
Okay.
RPM, honey.
Yeah,
Are
just
you there?
yeah, I just sneezed all over me.
Honey?
Man, yeah.
Yes, I said honey
That-
because I'm looking for some attention.
Are you from the South?
No, that's so funny. Everybody thinks I'm from the South. I am born and bred New Yorker, but there is a part of me that is, my soul is from the South. I love being in the South. I love crawfish to eat more than anything else in the world. And yeah, I think I have a Southern soul. Must have been there in a previous life.
Crazy Canuck says I should call and complain to Thinkorswim, get some free trades.
Oh, you definitely have to call and complain. They'll give you free trades up the wazoo, but you got to call.
I just
They
want
know
them to
they're
get me
limited.
out of the trade that I'm in.
If I called and complained
You're
every
in a
time they were
trade?
slow, I would never have to pay for a trade again.
They actually, the last futures trade, I traded on toss. They negated the trade and gave me my money back because the platform was so crappy. And that was the last trade I made. I opened up my Mirrors account the next day. I've not had a problem since. So there you
Yeah, I
go.
wouldn't use
Stocks and
toss.
options, they're okay, but anything that moves fast, forget about it. Just forget about it. Sorry.
I don't see how
like
anybody
it.
it's a short-term
Now-
scalper can, just looking at a chart, I don't see how they do it on toss. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
This is unbelievable. The best piece of software anybody ever designed for trading, and we can't get into it.
I mean, I love the way it works,
Well,
and that's where I'm stuck. I'm froze. I
I
can't
got
go to
into it,
anything else.
RPM.
Yeah.
I just got back into toss on my other computer.
I don't know what is wrong.
Yeah,
I
because
was
I
Not you, it's
just
them.
did.
I took a.
I didn't even know it was not working. I have to go and try to pull up a
That's
trade and
ridiculous.
sales chart to see if anything's going through there.
I just
or
want
not.
somebody to confirm that it's not working for at least one other person. Because if not,
No,
See, I
'cause-
got my time. I've got my time and sales going, and I've got trades going through.
no, I
so-
mean somebody that has tossed that could log in for me. Just to somebody else.
Yeah, I have toss. That's what I'm talking
PM
about.
me. PM me, RPM.
No, I want somebody to log into the damn thing and tell me RPM.
I'm in.
No. I was in too, and it was fine. I got kicked. I got tossed out. Okay.
Oh.
No, I
KJ
went on
Trader.
my other.
KJ Trader says I'm booted. Cannot log in RPM. All right. So there's at least one other person that's on one of their clustered pieces of crap clusters that can't get in. So there's half of their network is down or something. Anyway.
It must
RPM,
be.
sometimes we have 3 different accounts on toss, so I can log in on 3 different computers, and I often do.
Uh-huh.
During the day, sometimes one of them will lose the connection and the other will not. That's why I can't trade futures with them.
Yeah,
That's why I
I've-
open my Mirrors account. stocks, it's usually fine. But I was in an Apple call trade today that they kicked me out, and by the time I got back in, I was down $1 on 6 calls. I was
Yeah.
not a happy camper.
Yeah.
So, that was a pain in the ass. But it's cost, and to move accounts, if you have a substantial anything, it's a major pain in the ass, almost worth losing money to have to transfer accounts if you have equities you don't want to trade out of. It's a
I'm telling you what,
lose-lose. I don't know.
That's a good thing about the fibs. When you use those, you get an entry, and using the extensions, you have a target before you even take the entry.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what
it doesn't matter what toss does.
I use the Fibonacci extensions to hit my targets.
All right, trade for pay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, we're good. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay.
I had a rant about thinkers. I'm sorry, y'all. Go ahead. Don't worry about me.
And this is something I learned from a guy named Robert Miner who fibbed for years, and he what he does is does the fib retracements and then does fib extensions, and when you get confluence, it works really nicely. But what you can do here, if you look at, let's see, I'm trying to see where I'm at. Why don't I have, where, did it start at the bottom? RPM, you got my whole screen on there?
No, I've just kind of zoomed in to where you've got your fibs.
To the one, okay. What I did is I went to the very, very bottom, pull over just a little, or let me squeeze it just a little.
To the left, you mean?
There
you go.
That should come in.
Yep.
Okay. Right here, if you look, there's a very low place. And can you show the stochastic area for just a second? And I want to show the people something. So you could squeeze the size if you want.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm on the stocks now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. We're going to have to go over just a little bit more, so I'm going to pull this over for a sec. Just to help it along. Okay. So if you look down at the very bottom, you see the 3510, which is, again, the golden line in the stochastic, and shooting up really hard angle from it is the 1433 stochastic. Okay? So if you've ever listened to Elliott wave stuff, and I don't trust enough of it to worry about, I do use the concept sometimes. But what you got, what you've got down here is a crossover of the fast 14.3 stochastic over the slow. That says I now have momentum heading up, and that starts from this very, very low point where you see you don't see the cursor, but where the candles change at the bottom from red to green. Okay.
Right, I see that.
Okay. Then I go up to the first high that's green. See, that candle just lit up. Okay. And then I run down, and there's a down end where the candles go down to red. So the way you do an extension is you start at the very bottom, you go up to the top of that run, top of the green, and then you go down to the low of the red. Right. Putting an extension on that shows that this thing went to 100% of the first hill. So that's typically where you would want to say, okay, I believe that's where an easy target is.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, if I went with the
Trade for Pay, can
one,
I ask you what time frame that is?
That's a 133 tick on the CL. Okay. Yes. Now, I could go ahead and do the same thing if I want to. And this would be your extension. And what you start doing is get to here. Let's see, did I... Hold on, let me... Okay, let's start back here. Go to here. Go to here. Shit, this isn't working. Shoot, this isn't working.
Who's laughing at us?
I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at him having the same problems I have.
Oh, you know, I do not think... Okay, and here, I did the exact same thing, and I got about a 1.16 retracement. So if I had my target at 100%, I would have gotten my 100%, and it went a little past that. So that's how I used to use retracements. Or extensions. Excuse me.
Well, actually, yeah, both. You're using both. That's great. But what I'm saying is, this is what I don't see people using is we're using retracements like you used it there, and then extensions. But say that all of a sudden just fell off a cliff. It went down here below your most recent swing low where you started. Way down here. I mean, like tonight, it just started flushing, right?
Okay.
Now, what would you do? How would you figure out where that's going to stop?
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. Basically what Michael Freeman was saying. I set up negative lines in there. Negative 23, negative 61, so forth. For targets. I use those for targets as well.
Okay, I see.
Uncle Phibbs, is that what you're alluding to?
Well, see, the problem is what I'm saying, and I have this problem. Now, the reason I know this problem exists is I use toss charts. It allows me to set my fibs up a certain way, but my dad uses a Sierra charts. So when he tries to use a back fib, basically all I'm saying on a back fib is if this thing went to, I don't know where it is, let's say the very top up there, and then all of a sudden flushed down and broke your low. You understand what I'm saying? You're going up, big news event comes out, and you're like, okay, we're on an uptrend, we're going up, and all of a sudden, bam, a big news event comes out and flushes you down below your most recent swing low way back there. How do you figure out where, if it keeps going, where's it going to stop? And that's what people do. They start guessing once it breaks below that low where it's going to go, and they start jumping in willy-nilly. And the way I do it is if it starts dumping, I let it dump. If it breaks that low, let it. Because what I do is I draw a fib from that very top up there where it started dumping. I draw what I call a back fib. And I'll draw it from that top back down to that bottom. Now, toss, if you set them up right, that will give you extensions down past that bottom. Just like they give you extensions to the upside.
Well, look at what I did here. Look at what I did on this. This is the retracement one. Okay. I started at the bottom.
Right.
Went up to the top. Now, typically, like Michael Friedman, like NC Dave, this is the way I use them if I'm doing really not what Sue talked about. Okay, that's a whole different ballgame. This is trying to find these candles, these red candles right here. See where, can everybody see where my bottom is there? The bottom candle, it's just to the left a little bit of the yellow gold box.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's just below the 382 and just a tick above the 50% retracement.
Is this the ES?
No, this is the CL. Same on the ES, same on everything you ever use.
Yeah, see,
close.
I have to disagree there a little bit, but yeah.
Well, okay, but
that's okay. That's okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it bounces off of the 50.
Right.
And it went up a 1-for-1. Now, if you look at what I've got here, it says this is minus 236, almost minus, almost a minus 30%. So it's greater than a minus 236. On toss, if you put those in, it'll give them to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then if I go down below, you see a purple line that's real faint. That's a 161.8 below where I started this extension, this tracement.
Yeah, that's the extension. That's 100. That's 61. That's 161% of that move.
Right.
Once you broke the high and made a new high, then you win another 61%.
I used to use this a lot more. On the ES than I very, very, very seldom use them on the CL. And the reason is I'm in and out on the CL for 20 seconds.
Right.
You know, if I call it right. I got
the CL, you would have to trade.
That's ideal. 20 seconds is a long trade.
Yeah, that's CL.
Start biting my nails after 20 seconds.
Yeah. Like
you'd
Isn't
have
that
to,
right? That's right. After 20 seconds, it's like, uh-oh, which way is it going to go?
Yeah. You'd have to feel it.
Kill it, RPM.
I'm going to...
Hey guys, basically what I'm saying.
I hope you ain't driving by my house right now because I'm going to throw a computer and a keyboard out there.
Yes, toss enables you to do this perfectly.
Tech people.
But if you can go into toss and put you in a couple of tracement levels, and then put you in a like from where you start to where you go, you'll have a 38 or so, and a 50, and a 618 retracement. Toss allows you to put in like a negative, 138 or negative 150. Well, if you'll put in just a 138 or a 150 or a 1618 in there too, you would have seen that based on the low to the most recent low tonight of that ES to the most recent high, you're drawing a fib up to there, and you had your toss set up that way to where it would show you from that high your 1618 extension. If you'd had negative 1618, or let's say you had a negative 150 put on there, and a 150, no negative, just 150. You would have seen when that dumped, it stopped at the 150.
Okay.
Precisely. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to explain without showing it. But toss allows you to do that.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Some platforms don't.
Yeah, Ninja Trader, a lot of them let you do that.
Yeah, I just have to me, the way I draw it is I have it set to where I can draw from a bottom to a top, gives me the retracements, and then I got a negative 23, negative 150, kind of like old Dave does. But tonight, if you'd have had a 150 and a 1618, not negative, not a minus on there, it would, when you draw it from the bottom to the top, it'll put those in two below you. And you would have seen once it came down and dumped like that and broke that low today, it went straight to that 150 and stopped. And it just gives you levels, when it starts dumping like that and everybody's freaking out, you just back out and look at it and say, okay, that's fine, just let it dump. And then you can go from there.
Joel.
Yeah.
In addition to what you were saying, where you had your Fibonacci up there, and you had the, you were saying, okay, you started at the bottom of those green candles, and you came up to the top of the highest green candle, and then you had a retracement of the red candles back down.
Yes.
What I've learned is that retracement, in order for an extension to be effective, that retracement needs to be at least a 23.8. And then that extension will be more effective. And, the number one extension that gets hit most often is the 61.8. Yes,
it's between the 50 and the 61.8. And the reason I don't need to do that too much is because I see it go down and hit my midline on my Bollinger Bands, and I know that's a retracement spot. You see what I'm saying? It's just something I've learned over the years, that if it goes up to the top band, retraces down, and I see the movement that I can recognize on my stochastics, and it hits structure that's the midline in this case, I expect it to bounce away if I see the stochastics, the fast stochastics, head back up. So what the extension type gives me, as opposed to the retracements, is the ability to say, well, this should at least hit a 100% retracement of the previous movement.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Does that
make sense? Because that's how I've done it for years, but I don't really do it so much because basically on the CL, it's so doggone fast. I'm in and out before I'd have time to do it.
It's tough on oil.
And sometimes it doesn't adhere to those fib lines. It just does what it wants to do.
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier. Fibs, they work on any chart at any time frame, but the levels, how the actual price action of that particular, stock or whatever reacts to it will be different. It may, whereas on the ES at a certain level, and I've watched it for 3 years now, at a certain level, it'll stop there and bounce. Well, you take that same fib and draw it on something else, it may poke through it a little.
I think all of these futures generally, they trade the same way, but they all have their intricacies, and they have different behaviors. And like the 6E, I've been trading the 6E a lot lately, and
that's a great
completely
chart.
Differently. And the TS, TS looks really well.
Yeah. The biggest thing I was just wanting to see if anybody, because I've watched a lot, a lot of the fib stuff, and took a little bit out of all of it and come up with my own thing. But I've never seen anybody do back fibs to figure out something like this. Tonight was the perfect example. That's why I was trying to get to, RPM. even though to y'all I'm a newbie, is just that it was a perfect example tonight when it broke back below that low. I just drew, a back fib from that high it made today back to the most recent swing low, and it gave me an idea of where it was going. And once it gets there, then you start using regular fibs once it stops. But that just lets you know where it may stop, And to me, sometimes I'll draw that back fib after it first breaks that major low. And if it goes back up and tests that low and starts falling, then I'm in short. And then based on my back fib extension, I'm going to let it go till it hits there. And I just don't see anybody doing that. And I may be crazy, but I don't see people doing that. I see people drawing from highs to lows and lows to highs, but I don't see them using it and drawing it backwards. Mm-hmm. They have to have it break the low, and then they have to use the retracement again. Once it breaks the low and stops and starts coming back up, then they have to use the retracement to get in.
Hey,
see where it might.
Guys, Sue wants a music break.
I need a break. At the very least, I got my honey swan beside me, and that kind of like Tracy and I have a theme song, and we want you to play it.
Well, maybe we should play that. We've been 3 hours here almost. Maybe we could play that at the close, and then you guys could listen to the show once we say goodbye, and you guys could listen to the close of the show, and I'll play it. Or do you want to play it while you're on here with me? You won't be able to hear it through your headphones, through your computer, because I don't have a way of getting audio back through the Skype, so everybody else will hear it, but you guys won't hear it.
Well, I have the link that I could post that I did post in the room, and to be honest with you, hon, I've had a fabulous time. I traded hard, was on a boat for 5 hours, and I'm getting close to being done because I need to make some more money tomorrow. As do we all.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, RPM, me too. This wasn't really what I was wanting to do tonight. I was just more or less trying to get a hold of you to change my dang name. But
what you wanted to be?
I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret.
How the hell you expect me to change it? That's like calling 911 and saying that come put my fire out, but go over there on the other side of town.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Oh, I'm slow. I'm sorry.
Come on, RPM. Get quicker, buddy.
I want to know why I can't get the damn Speed Trader won't print no more 1 minute candles.
What?
I can't get the Speed Trader. It's like the stochastics have just gone flat on a 1 minute chart. I got a 1288 showing on the ES right now. And it's just like your platform
I'm at 1287.80. Yeah, I'm at 1288 probably.
Yeah, me too.
It's just died. It won't give me no more. It's like the chart that says, "Oh, go past this point." Man, I'm so frustrated with that thing too. I love the broker. You know what? I shouldn't be. That's the whole reason why I tried to get back in toss. And no, I cannot get back in KJ Trader. KJ Trader, are you getting in toss? I tried from 4 different computers. It ain't a computer problem. I even tried from from a Linux box.
Toss is very slow. Basically, when the market really shoots up or down, it will lock up on you. But that's my problem. I've learned on it for 3 years. I can't get away from it now. So
finally, I just got back in.
You can. I think you can do it.
Man, this thing is slow. Yeah, I'm back in now. It's like it's got a mind of its own, though. Somebody heard me. They're listening to the show again.
But no, make it, RPM, make it, can I do mini monk? Because I feel like a monk. Last 3 years I've been studying this. I ain't been out of the house.
Yeah, I didn't reconfigure anything, KJ Trader. I just finally beat on the keyboard hard. Yeah, I put Mo Money says put a drywall screw in it. Oh, that reminds me. I got
barbed wire.
You guys may not know. Well, I was redoing my office and I was putting it'd been taking me 5 months to get everything back in there, and I basically drove a 3-inch drywall screw at the last minute through a pipe with some Cat 6 and some Romex wire, and the hot wire got shorted out to some of the Cat 6 lines and blew up a $900 Cisco managed switch that I just put in the rack. Oh. Market, was it RPM logged in? Market's halted. The market halted? Huh?
What? Do what?
No.
You better be kidding me. It is just at 1288.75. It's just sitting there.
The whole world's halted based on these morons in Washington. God, these are a bunch of morons.
Is it halted?
Let's see. I'm showing. No, it's not halted.
No, it's moving RPM.
I got 1288.75. What's wrong with it?
It's 3 ticks higher than it was a minute ago. Yeah, that's what I got.
It's right, RPM.
Oh, so it's been there for 15 minutes.
Yeah, everybody it just ain't moving.
Oh, ES Junkie went to the bathroom.
Now you take right there and
He's
draw
the one that
a
moves
from where that move started down
hey,
to
Sue.
that bottom.
Hey, Sue.
What?
So, Trade for Pay and I, just so you know, we have a theme song.
Yes,
I posted the link.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to play, I don't know how else to get it up in the room, but that is now our
I don't
theme
see
song.
it, Sue. I don't see it, though.
It's the one.
Oh, I see it.
Y'all know it. Y'all know it. Y'all love it. Play it.
Oh, the Beverly
Hillbillies.
Hillbillies. The Beverly Hillbillies.
Well,
yeah,
that's really, baby. Listen to the song.
Jeff.
Oh, that song.
I'm playing it on the laptop so you can hear it through the mic.
I'm dancing.
Rock Gold, Texas T, Charles, Jethro, and Ellie Mae.
Yeehaw!
See, if we had people like that in there discussing the debt ceiling, we'd be good to go.
We'd be able to take care of that story in a hot second. But we're not allowed.
They take that. They shoot each other with that gun instead of shoot a hole in the ground.
So is the ES still moving there, Trade for Pay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take that. You can take that most recent high right there down to that low, and we were sitting exactly. Went to a 150 or a 50% retracement, and this piece of crap liable to roll over some more.
You sure it's moving Trade for Pay, or is your screen frozen?
No, I'm
move your mouse.
moving.
Move something around on your screen for me.
Trade for Pay don't care. He can be moving
no,
or
his
not.
Screen is good. I just don't see. I don't see.
He knows where it's going.
He must be on like the 3-day chart or something. What?
It's a 133. Hold on.
I reckon I was kind of done
yeah, I
for
see
the night.
it now.
There's stuff going on here.
Hold on.
But when I got
Can we
kicked
tell you
out before, I decided, I don't really need to have my platform up. But do I for some reason? You know what? No, I don't. It's midnight, and
Hey, Sue.
I'm just getting all tired.
Hey, Sue. Did you want to talk about something?
No.
Black Gold, Texas T.
You gotta listen. Sue gets cranky when she gets past a certain time. She got mad because we were doing them room raids the other night.
No, that was no. That was different.
Yeah.
You were being mean to a sad
Hey,
girl.
I wasn't though.
Stop that.
And she's
You
not
got to
sad,
stop that.
she's not sad. And me
have
and
gotten past that.
me and
You
her
wanna-
have been talking. Me and her have
Let's
been
rate her
talking.
now. Let's rate her right now.
No,
I'm
no,
down.
no. We don't make her happy either.
Oh.
No, she's actually really nice, and she's never sad. She just has a face that looks like that. Like she's sad. It's just an expression. That's all.
Glad to hear that.
and I've gotten past my upsetment with that. So I'm on board.
Yeah.
You want to raise
Hey,
it?
hey, but you know what? I was never mean to her in that room. Everybody else,
You
yeah,
were not.
yeah,
You
it
were
was. I looked
Yeah.
at that chat room and I saw all those, take it all off, and all that, and just, you got,
Yeah.
the people, when they don't have a chat name that everyone recognizes, they do. It's like live streamer 123967221. They, there's just no
Hello?
rules. Yes.
A room raid was at all. It was my very
I was a virgin room raider,
Oh,
but
man.
no more. Now it's like, let's raid, baby, and you don't want to. So there.
I was just trying to just carry on the tradition that John started, and
Carry
and
on.
it was fun.
it's when you got a couple hundred people hanging out on the internet on a website, you think about it. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other sites out there that have that that many people that are all in tune and doing the exact same thing at one time, like a bunch of animals running to a stampede or something. But I mean, if you go to live stream right now, the only thing close to as many viewers as we got right now is like 83, and that's some like national music service or something, or C-SPAN 3. So we're like the biggest one, and a lot of times, especially at night, we're like the biggest one on there. So when like a
Yeah.
couple
Probably
hundred.
probably 700 more till I chimed in.
A couple hundred of us take off and go to somebody else's site. She was broadcasting. I think she had like 9 viewers. And those are probably like some office computers or something that people just left on. And they'll be back to listen to the music the next day. And we all came in there and it
How
started
would you
ticking
know
up.
if someone rated us?
We wouldn't care.
Okay.
We get
okay.
rated all day, Huck Sue. We got 1,800 people watching. That is a raid.
We had that Aussie guy come in today.
Yeah, he's gone.
So, yeah, he rated us for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. And by the way, if you guys live,
Aussie guy? What
yeah,
Aussie guy?
I'm not going to say, but I basically had to I banned such a big IP block for him that it's bound to probably catch somebody else. But if you can't see Day Trading Radio, if you can't see Day Trading Radio right now, and your name is an Aussie, send us an email.
It's because RPN banned an IP number of about 8 billion people.
No, it's closer to 160,000.
Now we know why the toss won't work. You banned your own damn toss. And half of Toss America.
Who was this? Ozzy?
Yeah.
I must miss that.
Like
I
said,
took
when
my
it
money
first
and
come
ran,
on,
so I wouldn't be embarrassed to talk tonight.
it all comes down to that button you push. that one little button.
Let me address Ozzy just in case he's out there listening. Okay. I wasn't exactly sure what he did wrong. He asked a couple of questions like, so all I need is a live stream account and a few 100,000 people, and then I could start me a business like this. He's kind of being kind of questionative and snobby about, how.
Earlier today.
Yeah, and I said something like, yeah, absolutely, Ozzy, here, go to this page right here. You'll see that it's running about $112,000 a month for DayTraderRockStar live stream channels bandwidth. And you can get your calculator out, and that's one of the things you're going to have to consider.
Right.
And I said, do yourself a couple $1 million worth of advertising and marketing for about 5 years, and get yourself together about 65, 70 years of combined trading experience from some of the better people, and get on the air and see if you can do it. I was just being sarcastic, but
Nothing to it.
yeah, nothing to it. Go right ahead.
No.
More power to you, and let us know how it goes. And
Right.
I looked up his account, and the guy had been a member for 2 days or 3 days or something like that. So we were just concerned, what he was saying and what he might say and everything. So we kept an eye on him, and I got a couple of private messages. I had gone to help my wife. My nephew, he's 16 years old. He's from Seattle, and he's out here for the first time. He flew out by himself. So my wife had just
got some sunlight and got scared.
Oh my God! He got out of the car. It was 98 degrees here today, 48% humidity. Heat index was like 120. He got out of the van. My wife pulls up right here, and that's how I had to leave for a few minutes to go help him with the luggage and stuff. I go outside and everything, and she hits a button on the van door, and the van door opens up, and he like put his hands over his face when the steam went in, you know. He was gonna wear jeans, and I'm like, "What? Are you crazy?" You know. So
vampire kid.
I look at the weather in Seattle, and it's like 68. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm down here in Texas, and the low at night is 85.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's humid here. You know, it's really humid. So when you wake up in the morning, if you've got your AC on and everything, you know, all your windows, even if they're well insulated, are completely drenched with sweat on the outside. You know.
Yeah. See, here, that's the thing. At night, it gets cooler. So you got your thermometer set at something. Well, you don't have the sun beating down. So now it gets that cool, but the humidity shoots you to pieces. So now you got to cut it down even lower.
Yep. Yeah. The dew point's higher than temperature of the windows, so it's going to collect on it. Yeah, but he's a cool kid. I haven't seen him in a while, and it's the first time he's ever been out here and everything. He's a great big guy. He's like about 10 pounds lighter than me and an inch taller. So he's six.
Take some pics.
He's 16. Oh, I have. Here you go. I'll show you. I got a picture right here. I'll put a picture of him. Here's a picture of him. Right here, you guys will have to wait a minute for it to get on your screens, Sue. But that's a picture I took after he got in. That's his head looking at the screens that I'm looking at right now, and that's just my makeshift office in my living room. But that's
how we know that's not you.
No, I'm not. I don't have any hair.
You don't have hair. Right.
I don't have any hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt, that's him, not you.
So that's him. But I was making a point that he's then chased me out of my chair, and he'd only been here 15 minutes. He's already on my computer. He wanted to check something. You know? So I'm like, well, maybe I'll get my computer back soon. And that
could be the other reason why TOS isn't working.
No shit.
I don't know if yeah, it's working now. So, but yeah, he's a cool kid, and we're he's going to be cutting the grass, and I'm going to let him use the riding mower.
Exactly what you should be doing, RPM. You're a good uncle. Let him use the ride on.
That's all.
And
it's awful nice of you to let him use a ride mower to mow 5 acres.
No, this is about an acre. This is about an acre, but the problem with it is that the push mower ain't gonna go through this mess. It's like it's up to my knees. It's got small dogs, and the grass is so thick and so wet and so tall that it's got small dogs and cats and stuff that are missing in it.
RPM said, "Hey, the nephew will be here in 2 or 3 weeks. I'll just let it go a little while."
Yeah, JD, that's what it is. That's the Sector, the 7-string, the one I got for $194 off eBay. One tiny little ding in it. Yep. So he's going to be helping me put the office back together, though. I had everything back together, and then I had that catastrophe, and then he's going to help me put it all back. I got to tear some drywall out and fix the wires, and so I'm going to put him to work. And he's a computer kid, so the first thing he wanted to do when he got here, other than get on my computer, is take his Xbox 360 and wire it into the home network and hook it up to the big TV and stuff. And so
the kid needs some sunshine, RPM. Make him stay outside in the sun. He doesn't get that at home.
He is he is very white. I mean, he's like whiter.
Exactly. Put some sun crap on him and send him outside. He needs to have the sun on his face.
He never even. My wife parked in the parking garage and at the airport, and she went in to get him and everything, so he never even saw the sun. I mean, but when he got out and walked in the house, it was literally like maybe 30, 40 feet, and he was pink. He was pink, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, I'm like, he's like, I'm like, "Are you okay?" And I mean, he said he was used to humidity, but it was usually in the form of fog, and it was 38 degrees.
So he got his base tan in about 20 seconds. Walked to the door.
Yeah, man.
slap the number 50 on him and send him out on side. It is summer. People need to be outside. Just my opinion. Oh,
Sue
yeah.
is ready. Can't handle it.
My biggest problem with going outside.
It's midnight. Do y'all know what happens to Huck at midnight?
Turns into a pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Oh, someone knew that.
My biggest problem with going outdoors is I can't see the screen. If it's bright outside in the summer, my problem with going outside is I can't see the screen.
I can't see
the glare,
I can't see doing it. I walk out there, it's 105, 10 degrees. I look at a thermometer hanging on my porch. It says 114 and there's shade on it.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Texas do you live? Are you in the humid areas or are you in the drier areas?
No. Well, I'm in west of Fort Worth, about 70 miles.
See, I've been to Houston about 5 or 6 times.
Oh, God, I don't even want to be down there. I'm sitting here griping about here, but God almighty, down there.
Houston, man, it's like, I thought, maybe I could get away from humidity. I have never in my life, I went in August, I have never in my life, get up 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, go outside the hotel room. First, you can't even see out the hotel. You got wall-to-wall windows, and it's just all, completely just drenched with condensation. Yeah. You can't see anything.
Pouring.
You go outside, and it's like 85, 90% humidity, and it's like 88 to 90 degrees, and it's not even 8 o'clock yet.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I said to myself, man, I thought we had humidity back east. This is humidity, But,
no, that's water.
It's every now and again here, you get a high set over the top of it, you at least get rid of the humidity. But down there in Houston, that's terrible.
Yeah. So, but anyways, you know what? I'm fortunate that we get rain every night for about an hour. And, almost, every other night or whatever during the summer. So you don't have to water anything. It waters itself.
That's the bad thing here is we I mowed the yard once this year.
Wow.
It's totally dead. Yeah, walk out there, your bare feet, it feels like you're walking on, tacks. It's so dry. It's terrible.
It crunches when you walk on it.
Yeah, crunches and the bad thing sounds kind of crazy, but I got a dog, and you let the dog out to take a, crap. Well, usually you mow the yard every week or so, no big deal. Well, hell, it looks like a herd of damn elephants been through there, because I ain't mowed it so long. This looks bad. But, hey, that's Texas.
Yep. A trade for pay messing around with that blood trail.
Must be a big dog.
Not really. That's the deal. I'm kind of wondering. I didn't think she was that big.
Your neighbor trained his dog to go on yours.
Probably.
You know what?
Out here, I don't see neighbors. My nearest neighbor's 200 yards away, and the one next to me is about a mile, and there ain't nobody lives there, so I'm out here by myself.
I guess we better wrap this up, guys. It's midnight.
Well, I didn't expect to be on here this long at all.
Well, you've had your first Trader Spotlight after 3 separate memberships scattered over a year and blowing up 3 times. You deserve the spotlight.
I get.
I ain't trying to mean that. Say that mean. I mean, you've been there. You've done that. You deserve a spotlight.
I just wish I could. I wish I could show my chart right now because it's sitting.
Can you describe it to us?
Well, no. I mean, it went to the 150 extension, past the low. See, I'm a Elliott wave guy too, not a big one, just the basics. So I count wave. So that's how I know where to put my fibs.
Yeah.
And it went right to a level, and it bounced right back up to a previous level, and it's right between those 2 levels, just banging around, and it's going to go down some more. It's going to go to 79. I'm going to put it on the line. If it doesn't happen, you won't hear from me again. But I think it's going to go down to 79.50 minimum. If it don't, then it was nice talking to y'all, and you won't hear from me again. Anyway, I appreciate RPM. I really do.
Yeah. We appreciate you too, man. Thanks for calling. And good luck tomorrow.
Guys.
Hey, good night, everybody.
All right, we'll see you.
Good night, Ray.
Joel,
Good night, guys.
Sue, thank you, honey.
Thank you,
It was
RPM
my
and
pleasure.
Sue.
Ooh,
Hugs
love
and
you, babe.
kisses.
Mwah. To you and everybody. Thanks so much for putting up with me. Thanks for thinking that I have something to share. I love you, buds. Pleasant dreams.
Same at
Good
you.
night, guys.
Night, everybody.
Hey,
Night.
RPM,
Yeah.
can you change that sign in?
Change the yeah. Just send me a private message. Tell me what you want it to be.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you never even figure out how to do it. Just tell me in the room, and I can fix it for you.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. See ya.
See ya.
All right, so we had fun tonight. I did. Nice long 3-hour trader spotlight, and let me close down Joel's computer here for him, and there we go. And of course, we appreciate all the participation and everything. Everybody, really good job. Everybody that helps out. These things they get easier, because we've got such great people that pitch in, and it's a casual show, which I really like. I'm a beginner, trader. Well, I've been doing it for a right good while, but I'm still a beginner because I'm not that good at it yet. So I'm a little bit intimidated, honestly, by a lot of the expertise, the people that come on, like Trade for Pay and Sue and anyone, pretty much everybody, I can learn something from almost everyone. And so it's a little bit intimidating, but it's great because everybody's laid back, and, you can ask questions and get honest answers. And that's what the spotlight's all about, and at all different levels. So, but if it wasn't for great people that were willing to come on and not have an attitude and, not feel like that they were bigger and better than everyone else, and, we don't have any of that, not that I know of. So, but it's because of the quality of the members. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks to all the guests, always. In the past and in advance for the people that are going to come on in the future. So thanks to the members. That's what really makes Day Trading Radio work. And if it wasn't for the members and the participation from the members, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be worth it. It's like a system that feeds on itself. The more of us that are here, the better place it is. The more that come. So the quality of the members is amazing. It's always surprising me and amazing me. The quality. Of the traders that we have, and at all different tiers and different levels. So, but anyway, so that's Trader Spotlight. But it's was it 29th now? Oh, it's my mom's birthday. I need to send her a birthday card or a email, I think. So, we'll wrap it up. Today's Friday, and we got this debt ceiling stuff coming at us, so good luck to everybody. I hope nobody gets ground up in this crap. I wish the very best for everybody. If anybody's in a trade that's related to it on either side, regardless of what it is, I just hope somebody can just make a killing off of it. Somebody from our chat room, somebody listening to Day Trading Radio, can make a killing off of what's going on and not get killed and ground up. So that's my wishes. If I had one wish, that would be it, that everyone was able to make it through all this stuff that's going on now in the market and stay sound and solid and make money if possible. And if not, not lose any from it. It's going to be some crazy stuff going on, as you can see this futures tonight. Had some crazy action there. But so anyways, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. See Nitro Tane there saying good night. Nitro, thanks for your service. Stay safe, and I appreciate you as well, and for the rest of the members as well. Everybody out there, you know who you are. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the morning. I'll be here, and we'll do it all again. So take care, everybody. Thanks for being members. RPM out.